third. So we are getting ready for some baseball here on this Thursday. Again, the Rays winning it in walk-off fashion yesterday thanks to the incredible gapper by Sam Fold that scored Elliott Johnson. And then Fold racing into third base was going to be close, and the throw from the second baseman, Johnny Giabatella, got away. And Sam was able to get up and scamper to the plate. It was one of the longest treks from third to home that anybody has seen, and somehow, some way was able to get in there, and it set off quite the celebration here at Tropicana Field. The Rays ended that inning down 7-3 and scored 5 times to win it by a score of 8-7. It's the second time the Rays have had a comeback of that magnitude here at Tropicana Field. We were talking about the Rays' 6-run ninth against Cleveland back in 2008. But if you remember, the Rays were only down 3 runs, I think, entering that inning. And then the 3-run home run was hit by Carlos Pena. That was the walk-off to give the Rays the 6th run and end up winning it as they did. So, again, what a night for the Rays and for their fans that did indeed stick around. So we are getting ready for baseball here. The Rays and the Royals closing out this 4-game series. We've always said it's very, very tough to sweep 4-gamers, and the Rays are trying to do it here at home for the first time since 2005. We call the play-by-play for the first couple of innings today. Here is our broadcast partner, Andy Freed.
All right, David, thank you very much. Good afternoon to you as the Rays and the Royals close it out. And a 4-game sweep would be nice, but you got to get there first as the Rays look to do just that against Kansas City. And Alex Gordon leads off, and the first pitch is taken too low. But we are underway at 12-11 on this afternoon. Obviously, the first game going in Big League Baseball today. Neiman winds and throws, swinging a foul to the left side, and this one will bang off the top of the upper deck and drop into the lower seats. 1 ball and 1 strike. For Neiman, you look for fastball down with a good angle, and you look for that good curveball that has been, we've been joking, Bly-Levin-esque of late. 1 ball and 1 strike. Neiman delivers, and he shows bunt and takes a strike. Backed off the plate, DJ Rayburn rung him up, and it's 1-2. Gordon left-handed batter, then the switcher to Cabrera and the right-hand batting Butler. And it really is a good mix of righty-lefty and switch for Ned Yost in the Royals order. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Neiman throws just off the plate inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So 2-2 the count. Now Neiman rocks over the rubber and delivers. Breaking ball, line drive, right field, base hit. Now that curveball ended up around thigh high, and Gordon was waiting for it. And for Alex Gordon, that is his first hit since his first at-bat of this series.
Well, he's had some good swings this series, even though, as you said, he's only had the 1 hit. So Madden thought there was a couple of pitches yesterday that he probably could have put in play a little for some damage, and we're glad that he didn't. But he's swinging the bat as well as he has in his big league career, and here's a guy that's swinging the bat equally as well. Melky Cabrera has been on fire of late.
And he has loved the low ball in this series from both sides of the plate. He has taken balls that if he had taken them, they might have hit the plate and roped him for hits. And the home run he had yesterday was down low also. He lays down a beautiful spinning bunt in front of the mound, and Chapek has no play, really nowhere to throw it, and a perfectly executed bunt single by Melky Cabrera. Gordon to second, and the Royals have 2 on and nobody out.
Couldn't have rolled it out there any better. And again, in a perfect spot. Jeff Neiman, not all that limber off of the mound. He doesn't bounce off of the mound as quickly as some of the other guys do, mainly because of all those big levers and long levers that we talk about. Again, Kelly Chapek wasn't able to get to that one before he could do anything with it. So the Royals right now in a situation where they are looking to get on the board first.
That ball had incredible spin on it, where it just died halfway between the mound and home plate. Now Billy Butler, big burly DH, at Neiman's first pitch. There's a cold strike, and it's 0-1. Butler, who certainly has power and is a good RBI man. 13 homers, 61 runs batted in. Leads the team in walks. Also, in double plays grounded into, tied with Jeff Francoeur with that. And that's what Neiman's looking to get. The middle infield is bunched towards second. Johnson at short, Rodriguez at second. Neiman delivers on the 0-1 to Butler. Got him on a swing and a miss fastball, and it's 0-2. Butler had a stretch where he homered in 4 games in late July. And in fact, had 5 home runs during those 4 games. And he is quite a threat. 0-2 the count here to Butler. Gordon at second, Cabrera at first. Outfield deep and straight away. Neiman on top and throws. Swinging a high, towering fly down the left field line up through the dome. Avoids the C-ring and drops in. No, it actually did hit the C-ring and bounced back into the seats and then onto the field of play. That's a long way away to hit the C-ring, second from the bottom. That far foul. So it stays 0-2 to Butler. Neiman is generally a fly ball type pitcher. And if you work to the big part of this yard, you can be a fly ball pitcher. It's a very fair park. 370 in left center, 404 to dead center, 370 in right center.
And if he's on his game, he gets a lot of pop-outs to the infield because of the depth and the downward angle of his fastball.
The runners go, and the 0-2 too high. Throw down to third, and he's in there. Gordon is safe, and Cabrera on the back end. It's a double steal for the Royals. There goes the double play chance. And Neiman tends to be relatively slow to the plate, and the Royals taking advantage.
Well, a great jump there by the first base runner, Alex Gordon. That's who sets the tone there. Got a tremendous running start at second base. And they tried to go to third to get him, and the tag just a little bit late. And the Royals, so much for the hangover. They look like they're trying to, if they do have any kind of a hangover, they're trying to sweat it right out.
You bet. 1-2 strikes to Butler. With the first base open, Hosmer on deck, and that curveball is hit foul back onto the net. 1-2 strikes. And maybe that is a ploy by Ned Yost to make sure his team doesn't have a hangover from last night. Let's get him going early. If we get on, let's run. And that's what they're trying to do.
Pop a little Excedrin in you, get some caffeine, get a little jump start, run around a little bit. Not a bad idea.
Second and third, the infield is back. 1-2 strikes to Butler. Neiman on the third base side of the rubber comes home. Swinging a soft liner to short. Elliott Johnson reaches up, makes the catch. Out in shallow left center field. And with the infield back, that's the only reason that ball can be caught. And out number one with the runners holding.
That's one of those plays where I think if you're facing a pitcher that you're a little leery about scoring some runs, and the Rays have never really seen Danny Duffy, so they're kind of just going by his overall numbers, but they're trying to avoid a big inning here. And a good job there by Elliott Johnson going back in a nice read, reaching up at the last moment to make the catch. And Butler bluffed as if he was going to tag, but you're not going to run at Elliott's arm.
Well, there's one out with the runners holding, and now rookie Eric Hosmer, 21-year-old first baseman, left-handed hitter with Gordon at third, Cabrera at second. They play him to pull in the infield as Neiman's first pitch. Fastball swung on and fouled back. And boy, Hosmer takes a rip, doesn't he? That pitch up and away from Hosmer, and he just lets it fly. Here in his rookie year, 276, 10 homers, 19 doubles, and 48 batted in. For the Miami native, playing in his home state as a big leaguer for the first time. Down the hill comes Neiman, swinging a high fly ball foul down the left field line, giving chase his Sam Full, but even he can't get out. And it's 0-2.
I'll tell you what, Kansas City was really, really good yesterday. Getting guys on, getting them over, and then getting them in. They had, 3 sacrifice flies in the game to go along with that home run by Melky Cabrera in the 9th inning. And again, Jeff Neiman trying to wiggle off the hook here. He's in a bit of a situation, to say the least.
A lot of times, he'll trust his catcher and bounce the curveball into this spot and get the hitter to chase. See if he tries it on the young Hosmer. And there's a fastball rolled towards the middle. Backhanding is Rodriguez. Turns off ballot. Throws to first in time. Gordon scores. Cabrera to third. Good play by Rodriguez, but it is 1-0 Kansas City.
It was a fine play. Credit Eric Hosmer for putting that ball in play. A little jam shot that is heading back toward the middle. Joe Madden told us the other day, and we've talked about this before, when you see Sean Rodriguez at second base, he is one of the better defensive second basemen in the game. He doesn't play there all that often of late, but showing some great range, and then he's got a plus arm from short, and that translates to a very, very good arm at second base. That was nicely done by Sean. He not only got the out, but he probably saved another run.
And Cabrera at third for Jeff Francoeur. Big swing and a foul back. It's 0-1. Joe Madden says that he is the best second baseman defensively in the American League.
Well, we talked to a scout friend of ours a couple of years ago, Billy Harford, who's been watching baseball for a long, long time, and he told us when he saw Sean Rodriguez for Salt Lake at AAA, he said he was a Gold Glove second baseman in his mind.
I believe him. Here's a curveball from Neiman, and it's outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 ball and 1 strike, and yet Rodriguez also played a lot of shortstop in the minor leagues with the Angels and can play center field, although he hasn't really much with the Rays. Rays seem to have center field covered these days. 1-1 the count to Francoeur. Cabrera down the line from third. Neiman's pitch, and he's high. 2-1. The well-traveled Francoeur's had a big season series against the Rays, 7 for 19. Yesterday, a double and a run scored. Got another double in game 1 of the series. A lot of extra base hits for Francoeur. And the pitch, big swing, and he fouls back. And I know he strikes out a fair amount, but he's also the home run leader on the team. Second in runs batted in, and when he makes contact, it goes. Trailing only Alex Gordon with the team in strikeouts. 2-2 the count. Neiman bends way over at the waist. The baseball beyond his right hip. Rises up to the set. Glances over at Cabrera at third. And delivers to the plate 2-2. Fastball right away, 3-2. So full count here to Francoeur. And Johnny Giovotella is on deck. Now Neiman says yes to shopping signs. To the plate, 3-2. Oh, look at it, almost hit him. Went up over his helmet, ball 4. And Neiman has the inning continue on him as he got ahead of Francoeur but couldn't put him away. And it's first and third with 2 down for Johnny Giovotella. So Giovotella, 2 for 11 in the series in his first full week in the major leagues. He digs in. And off to a good start, but not yet really in this series. Just his second series in the bigs. Francoeur bluffs the pitch, breaking ball outside corner for a strike. And Francoeur, just when you forget about him, he's got 18 stolen bases this year. I wouldn't be shocked if you see him try to go and keep that energy boost going for the Royals. They've scored 1, and they've got men at the corners with 2 down. And Neiman up over 20 pitches here in the first inning. Outfield bunch towards the gaps. Neiman hand in the glove. Drops the set at the letters and throws, and he's high again. And he has been missing more up than down so far in this first inning.
A lot of flat fastballs and the velocity. I know Joe Madden always says he's not too concerned when it's 89, but I am. I like it better at 91, 92 with a downward plane. 89 up and flat usually gets hit pretty hard.
1 ball, 1 strike to Giovotella, little right-handed batter against the big, tall Jeff Neiman, who delivers to the plate. Fastball outside and high again. It's 2-1. So Neiman trying to figure out how to create the better angle on his fastball. When he's off, this is what it tends to look like. When he's on, it's down. And it creates a better angle on that curveball, too. 2 balls and 1 strike. There's Neiman on top. And goes to first and back to his Francoeur.
Francoeur was leaning just a little bit. Looked like he had a stutter step toward second base and then hit the brakes.
Well, the Royals as a team even have more steals than the Rays. Cabrera, Escobar, Francoeur, and Chris Gatz all in double figures in stolen bases. And Francoeur just went off the team leader. 2 balls and a strike. Not running. Giovotella lines 1 to third, right at Longoria to retire the side. Hit hard, but Evan able to make that catch as if it were thrown at him. 1 run, 2 hits, a walk, and 2 left at the end of half an inning. Kansas City won. The Rays on the way against young Danny Duffy after this on the Rays Radio Network.
Canes pitching preview, and it's brought to you by Canes Furniture. Quality so good, it's guaranteed for life. And on the hill for the Kansas City Royals is young 22-year-old Danny Duffy. And he is 3-5 on the year with an ERA on the other side of 5. Last start against Detroit, 5 innings, 5 hits, 3 runs earned. He walked 3, struck out 4, but left that game with, again, Jim Leland saying that he thought that this kid could be something pretty good down the line. So we'll see how he is today. Left-hander going up against this Rays lineup, and Desmond Jennings hoping to start something off positive.
They'll try as one rookie works to another. Jennings leads it off, and Duffy's first pitch is taken low, ball 1. 94 right out of the chute with that fastball. They gave him Zach Greinke's number. No pressure, right? He wears number 23, formerly worn by Greinke, and now the left-hander as he winds and comes to the plate, swinging a high fly ball into the daytime dome up near the rings. It'll drop in foul territory, but who's going to get it? It's Perez overruling Hosmer. A couple of 21-year-olds coming together, and the catcher Perez made the play. And why not? He had 5 pop-ups to him last night and caught them all.
I think that's probably what he said to Eric Hosmer. He said, "Were you watching me yesterday? I'm pretty good at this." But let's set up the defensive alignment. It's brought to you by Sweet Base Supermarket, home of the Sweet Spot. Alex Gordon left, Melky Cabrera's in center, and Jeff Francoeur over in right. Infield third to first of Mike Moustakis, ALCIDES Escobar, Johnny Giavatelli at second, and Eric Hosmer at first. The battery of Duffy and Perez, a very, very young battery at that.
Not as young as it could possibly be these days. Here's Johnny Damon taking low, ball 1. Here's the Royals' 3rd-round pick at 07. 1 pick behind Giavatelli, the second baseman. There's a swing and a foul back onto the screen, and it's 1 ball, 1 strike. They gave us a note, by the way, the Royals PR department, on all those foul pops caught last night by Perez. Happened to be in his big league debut. There's a curveball chopped back and plate foul by Damon, 1 and 2. I guess Stats Incorporated began keeping those sort of numbers in 1974. It was the beginning, kind of the leading edge of the statistical revolution in baseball. Perez, one of 4 catchers to catch 5 or more pop-ups in a game. There's a swing and a soft looper dropping into left field. It settles in for a base hit. Damon around first, thought about it. But a quick one to get it is Alex Gordon, and a great throwing Royals outfield holds Damon at first. He gets into the clear single. Just to finish the thought, Keith Moreland caught 6 in a game for the Cubs in '82. Jim Essien caught 5 with the White Sox in '76. Dave Wilson was that. John Marzano with the Mariners in '97. They all caught 5, and that's what Salvador Perez did last night. He may never do it again for him in his career to come. So the Rays have a base hit and a runner aboard. Here's Evan Longoria. The Royals up 1-0. And David leading at first. The stretch by Duffy, and he works on the first base side of the rubber, steps behind the rubber. So no count here to Longo, and Perez, the catcher, goes to the mound. I mean, think of that. 22-year-old pitcher, 21-year-old catcher. Duffy is somewhat of a late bloomer in terms of growth, and he stands at 6'2" now, but not all that long ago as a freshman in high school. He was only 5'4". His fastball only maxed out about 70 miles an hour at that point. Why, oh why, has he come along? Mid-90s so far today. Longoria takes fastball over the outside edge for a cold strike, says DJ Rayburn, and it's 0-1.
See, I think the scouts gave up on me too early. That sounds very familiar.
You were 5'4".
It wasn't that big, but I mean, it wasn't that small, but I did throw 70 miles an hour.
0-1 the count here to Longo. Evan hitting just .229 on the season. Swings and slices it foul down the right field line, 0-2. Duffy is from a town in California, located midway between San Francisco and L.A. It's on California's central coast, near Vandenberg Air Force Base. 0-2 the count here to Longo. Middle infield, a double play depth. Damon leading away at first. Hosmer hold them on. Duffy Simpson goes to first, and back to that goes Damon.
You ever been there?
California, yes, but Vandenberg Village, no.
No.
But I'll take a tour. It's where, I guess, from what I understand it, it's where the Defense Department tests missiles and launches satellites into space. Here's a swing and a foul back by Longoria, 0-2. Evan can send us a few into orbit. He does lead the Rays with 17 home runs, and just shy of Zobrist's team leading 65 RBIs. Evan was 63, and this is a guy that's missed a full month of the year. So numbers-wise, he's starting to get it back to where you would hope it would look, with the averages down well below what his career has had to this point. 0-2 to Longoria. Damon dances off first. The pitch to the plate. Curveball grounded to third. Backhanded juggle by MOUSTAKAS. Goes to second. He is out at second. Damon forced. And Longoria reaches. I don't know if they would have turned two if he fielded it cleanly, but MOUSTAKAS, to his credit, stayed with it and got the lead runner.
Didn't panic. Kind of shaking his head a little bit as he regrets the fact that he didn't come up with it cleanly, because I think if he does come up with it cleanly, he might have been able to turn two. But as it was, Giavotella then had to kind of become a first baseman at second and stride it out toward that baseball to make sure they get the force of the lead runner.
So the Rays have a runner at first and Longoria, and 2 out for Ben Zobrist. And Duffy's first pitch to him, check swing, and he did not go. Ball 1. Ben switch hitter, batting right-handed. A little higher average from this side of the plate, but less power. Although, when batting right-handed, he tends to have more power to the opposite field. He'll drive it out to right. 1-0. Outfield is spread way out, and they're deep. And that pitch floats outside. 2 balls, no strikes.
You never know what you're going to find when you look up, the player profiles information. You talked about how small he was, but I didn't know that Rick Schroeder is the scout who signed him. And I always wondered what he did after NYPD Blue.
Oh. Well, he was getting ready during Silver Spoons. 2-0. He was the Ricker back then. As Zobrist takes fastball high, 3-0. I think anyone knows what we're talking about with Silver Spoons?
Couple people. NYPD Blue, maybe a couple more.
3-0 here to Zobrist. Here's the RBI leader in the team and has 15 homers. Duffy works, fastball low and away, and it is ball 4, so it's a 4-pitch walk. The last one kind of close. And the Rays get 2 on and 2 out, and up steps the leading hitter in the team, Casey Kochman. And it doesn't seem to matter at all lately if it's a righty on the mound, a lefty on the mound, a submariner, an over-the-top, sidewalk, whatever. Casey Kochman can flat out hit lately. His average up to 340, trailing only Adrian Gonzalez for best average in the league. A remarkable comeback for Kochman this season. Off second, Longoria is the tying run. Rays down 1-0. Zobrist at first is the go-ahead run. Outfield tilts to the opposite side as Kochman takes called strike 0-1. Well, for a guy that could just throw 70 in high school early on, he's 95 on that one. You see a whole lot of lefties getting to the mid to upper 90s. And he's got it working. 0-1 the count. The pitch to the plate. Breaking ball. Slow ground ball towards the middle. Giavotella to his right. Gathers it in and throws to first in time for the out of the Rays are retired. Rays get a hit and a walk and leave 2 through 1-0 Kansas City on the Rays Radio Network.
odds on your Tampa Bay Rays. Log on to TampaBay.com for in-depth news, stories, and scores 24 hours a day only at TampaBay.com, powered by the St. Petersburg Times. Well, the Rays are done with one with these Royals, and the Royals have that early 1-0 lead. And again, some of the adjustments that Jeff Neiman needs to make. Cut down on his pitches per inning. He was at 25, and get that downward plane going with his fastball.
He'd like it as Salvador Perez leads off and looks at a called strike. It's 0-1. Then Moustakas and then Escobar. It's the bottom third of the Royal lineup. In a 1-0 Kansas City lead. Second inning, Neiman for the windup and pitches. Popped him up, shallow center. Out goes Rodriguez. In comes Jennings. It's Rodriguez to square off and grab it for round number 1.
Looking for a place to celebrate your child's birthday? Why not a Carvel birthday party at Tropicana Field with the Rays? More information, contact group sales at 888-FAN-RAYS or log on to RaysBaseball.com.
1 out and nobody on for the rookie Mike Moustakas. As left-hand batting third baseman digs in, close to the plate as Neiman from the windup delivers. Swung on and rolled up the first base line foul. You know what's interesting about these two teams? Of course, they're two very young teams. The Royals are the youngest team in baseball, averaging 25 years of age and change per player. The Rays in that mix. Royals have used now 15 rookies this year. The Rays 14 rookies. That is a pitch high, but I mean, you talk about all the different looks. I mean, you've got a guy like Tim Collins, who stands 5'7". We were talking about this yesterday. You've got Everett Tiefert at 5'11", and you have tall guys in the pen. Neiman on the mound today, 6'9". There's a ball outside. Giovatello's only 5'8".
Yeah, we'd win the basketball.
Well, I mean, it just proves that point that we always talk about, that baseball's such an inviting sport for kids because just about any size, it can work in the game. Pitch is fouled back, and it's 2-1. And when you stand 6'9" like Neiman, guys like that often develop later anyway because, as Joe Madden likes to say, a lot of long levers to get working in tandem properly. And it's taken Neiman a little while, but my goodness, when he is on, he is awfully difficult. The 2-2 pitch. Line drive right field, base hit. That fastball was smoked by Moustakas, and the Royals have their third hit of the game. And up steps ALCIDES Escobar. And Escobar up for the first time today. And he had a very pesky night yesterday. 2 doubles, 2 runs scored, a stolen base, and a walk, and even reached on an error. As Dave was pointing out, the Royals had a lot of even productive outs in last night's game. And they led 7-3 going to the 9th. They had done a lot of things right. And normally a very good bullpen for the Royals gave it all back. And the pitch to Escobar, slow chopper up the third base line, charging Longoria. Got it with a bare hand, off balance throw, and not in time. Escobar beats it out. Kochman tried to sell it, and the Royals have 2 on and 1 out as Moustakas gets the scoring position.
I think Angel Campos wanted to call him out, and the correct call was safe. Hustle again by the shortstop there, Escobar, and Evan again doing whatever he could, and he does that as well as anybody coming in and barehanding the throw, but just bang bang, and it went the Royals' way.
So the bottom of the order setting the table for Alex Gordon, the top of the order, who has really blossomed in his leadoff spot. Sharp single and a curve to open the game has scored the game's only run. It's already 1-0 KC. With Moustakas at second, Escobar at first. Neiman looking for the double play. The first pitch, he's high with a fastball, 1-0. Gordon, who could have been an all-star, and certainly would have been deserved of it. I believe he finished 5th out of 5 in that final vote. But he's still carrying a .300 average and second in the league with 35 doubles. And that pitch swung on and missed. And 1-1, and he's becoming now, although it doesn't seem like it, one of the elder statesmen of the team at the age of 27. And all 3 of their outfielders are age 27. In fact, Gordon, Cabrera, Francoeur, all born within 8 months of each other in 1984, but it was one of the earlier waves of Royals rookies coming up in 07. There's a swing and a fly ball, shallow center. Right behind the burst now, Desmond Jennings waits for it and makes the catch, and the runners hold. So Gordon flies out, 2 men down with 2 on, and it will leave it for Melky Cabrera. And Cabrera with a bunt single his first time up. And he is a very hot hitter. 5 runs batted in yesterday. He's doing an awful lot right these days with Kansas City. Switch hitter batting left-handed, and even trying to keep it only 1-0 KC. They give him the right center field gap in the outfield. As the runners lead at first and second, Neiman a long hold, and now comes home. Curved him. Staying high, 1 ball, no strikes. Neiman used to have a slider. He doesn't really throw that all that much anymore, so he hasn't had much of a feel for it lately. But he also has a very good split-fingered pitch, which he uses as a changeup. Haven't seen that one yet today. 1-0. He delivers, and that might have been it there. It's outside. It was 2 balls, no strikes.
It's hard to utilize that pitch, though, if your fastball's up all the time, because as soon as a hitter sees that pitch down low and they see the change of speed, they're not really going to offer at it right there. So, again, to make that pitch more effective, Jeff has to get his fastball down, too.
Neiman's pitch lifted in the air, right center field, way up into the dome, but ZOBRIST says he's got it measured. Shy of the warning track, he grabs it in the alley to the top of the side, and the Royals are taken care of in the second. 2 hits, 2 left, middle of the second inning. It's the Royals 1, the Rays nothing on the Rays Radio Network.
Home game. Take your tickets to any Canes Furniture store and get a coupon for a free Papa John's Pizza. Plus, sign up at Canes Furniture for a chance to meet one of your favorite Rays players. Canes, quality so good, it's guaranteed for life.
Well, the Rays left 2 men aboard in the first inning and now come up here in the second with Sean Rodriguez. And Sean can't seem to buy a hit against these Royals. He's 0 for 18 against Kansas City. And Duffy from the windup and pitches. Rodriguez takes, breaking ball low. And 1 ball, no strikes. Duffy did pitch in the Futures game in 2009 in St. Louis. It was the year that all the Rays, including Joe Madden, were there. And the pitch lifted in the air towards right field, carrying Francoeur to his left, but just shy of the warning track, and now a step onto it, grabs it for the first out.
One other game going on our BB&T out-of-town scoreboard right now, and it's in New York City where the Mets and Padres are scoreless. That game in the bottom of the second inning. Rays heading to the Bronx after the game today. Actually, they won't be staying in the Bronx. We'll stay in Times Square, but they'll open up a series against the Yankees tomorrow. And CC Sabathia will be there to greet the Rays. David Price for the Rays. And boy, we've been talking a lot about how the Rays need to have their big one step up offensively. They need their big one to step up on the mound tomorrow, too.
They sure do. And here is Sam Cole, who survived the scrum at home plate yesterday, and he takes strike 1, 0-1. The happiest piling on ever. And that pitch is a strike 2 over the outside with a big roundhouse curve, 0-2.
Got a couple of tweets here saying that they are enjoying our broadcast on the MLB Network and also on MLB.TV and over the Rays Radio Network. So hi to everybody who is tuning in. We're multimedia today.
And the 0-2 is just inside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I guess we are.
We are multimedia.
1 ball, 2 strikes here to fold. Well, if you're ever going to get your Twitter out there, Dave, today's the day to do it.
You know what? That's probably right. I'll get yours out there, too.
Here's a swing and a looper, shallow left. Charging Gordon, and he dives and makes a sensational catch. Charging into his left, towards left center field. Gordon diving to a stop and fold robbed, and I suppose he probably has a few coming his way.
He probably does. I was really kind of surprised yesterday's fell in, but a beautifully timed dive by Alex Gordon, who really has become a very, very good left fielder. That might have stopped the stretch there of, 7, 8 in a row.
8.
Reached base by Sam Fold, so he had tied the team record and really came within a foot or so, maybe setting the team record right there.
To think that Gordon was a third baseman and a first baseman and now has looked so comfortable in the outfield. Kind of doing it the B.J. Upton way. And here's Kelly Shopping taking ball 1 low. It's 1-0 Royals in the second inning.
He's not only gotten comfortable on the defensive side, but he's comfortable on the offensive side too.
1 ball to no strikes. Yeah, he's becoming the player that we hoped he would be, and it took him a little while, and the hard work paying off. Pitch is bounced in. 2 balls, no strikes to Shopping.
All right, so to all my multimedia friends out there, you got any thoughts? Like Brian Fletcher, just you can tweet me at Dave Wills 34. Dave Wills 34.
All right. Sounds like I got to start following him.
You don't.
Not yet.
You should.
I'm with you enough. I know all your friends. 2-0.
Some are secret on Twitter.
Shopping takes fastball high. 3 balls, no strikes.
Got a lot of comments from the call yesterday, and again, one of them I loved was the fact that they said I sounded a little bit like Harry Doyle from Major League. That was good.
Maybe the greatest movie character of all time. The 3-0 pitch, fastball, strike 3-1. Outside of Leslie Nielsen.
And again, I'm not sure if I could put it up on Twitter or not. We're trying to check with our friends at MOBAM, but again, I think it is on the MOBAM site if you want to track it down.
3-1 the count. Duffy winds into the plate. He comes. Fastball swung on and missed. It is 3-2. So from 3-0, the count's gone full.
We've been talking a lot away from things too. Is somebody said I should have done the Clark Griswold at the end, a little hallelujah, and well, where's the Tylenol?
You know what? That's not a bad idea. Also, full count 3-2. Here's Duffy to the plate. Shopping swings and lines one towards left, but charging is Gordon, and it comes right to him, and he almost lost it in the dome lights, but he held on to retire the side. Rays down in order and through 2 on a Tropicana Field Thursday. It is the Royals 1, Rays nothing on the Rays Radio Network. Well, on behalf of Sun Country Dry Cleaners, we want to welcome the PACE Center for Girls today. PACE is a counseling and education center for at-risk girls living here in Pinellas County. And if you're between the ages of 12 and 18 and are currently experiencing difficulty at school or within your family, call PACE at 727-456-1566. Thank you, Sun Country Cleaners, for sponsoring the PACE Girls. Through 2 at Tropicana Field, Kansas City 1, Rays nothing. And as we go to the third now, let's send it over to Dave Wills.
All right, Eddie, thank you very much as Billy Butler will lead things off. And the first pitch is lifted into the air, short center field. Out is Rodriguez, coming in as Desmond. And Rodriguez with a nice running over the shoulder catch. John Rodriguez covering a lot of ground and takes away a bloop single possibility from Billy Butler. That is nicely done. One gone.
Now, he won't win a Gold Glove until he hits probably a little better in the major leagues, but when you watch him on a daily basis, there really aren't many better.
And again, running where he's trying to keep an eye on the baseball, but at the same time pumping his arms, and then didn't put his arm up until the last moment. You put him up a little bit too early, and you're going to slow yourself down. That was a fine play. Here's Eric Hosmer, and he takes the first pitch in there for strike one. Hosmer knocked it around with a ground out to second base, his first time. Neiman gets ready to go to work. The 0-1 pitch is on its way, lifted foul down the left field line, and count hurried to 0-2. Jeff Francoeur waits on deck. Neiman a little bit of a shaky first, got out of it with only one run scored against him. Now the 0-2 pitch. Here's the splitter, tapped on the ground up the third base line. Shopik out to get it, throws to first. That time they got him on a close play. A bang-bang play again. One went the Royals' way, this one went the Rays' way. And there's 2 gone. And that was a fine play by Kelly Shopik, having to go a good 15, 20 feet up the line to get it, and then rifling a rocket shot over to first.
That was really threading the needle to get the out at first. And frankly, I don't know if he got him or not. In actuality, it was very close. But as you said, bang-bang this time with the Rays' way.
Here's Jeff Francoeur. He walked his first time. 1-0 Kansas City here in the top of the third. The pitch, a breaking ball, and that falls a little bit inside for ball one. So here's the 1-0 pitch. And here's a busted bat grounder back toward Neiman. He had to void the barrel of the bat. Now lobs the ball to first, and that will retire the side. So Neiman with his first perfect inning of the day, and that is our 15th out of the ball game, brought to you by Geico. For 15 minutes can save you 15% or more on car insurance. We're through 2.5, 1-0 Kansas City on the Rays Baseball Network. go to the bottom half of the third, and we are underway. And the first pitch to Elliott Johnson is taken inside for ball one. Elliott Johnson, the number 9 hitter for the Rays, followed by the top of the order, Desmond Jennings and then Johnny Damon. Rays are down a run as Danny Duffy has given up just 1 hit. Now the lefty ready in the pitch, and Elliott takes a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Elliott in the throes of just a brutal stretch here where he's hitting just $182 with 3 homers. And he's had a tough time just making contact. As Duffy ready, the wind and the 1-1 pitch. Swinging a flare toward right. Brancourt going back, but he's now squaring up and making the catch for out number 1. That's a step in the right direction, though, for Elliott.
Here's today's healthy tip of the game, brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Florida. Bones are constantly repairing themselves, and over time, if enough stress is placed on the bone, it can weaken and limit its ability to repair, causing a stress fracture. Always keep safety in mind in your pursuit of health.
So with 1 out, here's Desmond. Desmond popped out to the busiest man in baseball yesterday next to Scott Kersey. That's Salvador Perez. There's a pitch outside for ball 1. Trying to talk about a few of those different times that we've had 5 pop-outs to a catcher in a game. Andy ran those down for you, but that was just incredible. And they come as close to one another as they did as well. As here's a pitch in there for a strike. It's 1-1.
Yeah,
that's the biggest.
Yeah. They weren't spread out. I mean, at one point he had 7 straight putouts, only 2 of them on strikeouts. Weird stuff.
1 ball, 1 strike to count. The pitch. Swing, and he popped him up. Foul territory behind the plate. He's giving chase, but he's going to run out of room with the count. We'll go to a ball and 2 strikes. I was talking to the Royals announcers before the game today, and Ryan Lefebvre was saying how that might have been one of the best young debuts, major league debuts he's ever seen, both offensively and defensively, being able to do the things that he did. And the thing is, again, you've heard so many things about, as we have, being a Rays team that depends on minor league prospects, about the buildup of guys. I mean, I realize it's only the 1 game as there's a foul at the third base side, but how many times does a guy with that kind of buildup come in and perform at that level in the same game?
Well, we had heard so much about his arm and his release, and we talked to John End about it before the game. And he said, we heard about it too, of course, but sometimes you have to see it first before the belief.
There's a swing and a comebacker. Duffy has it, lobs it to first, and Jennings is 0 for 2, and there's 2 gone here in the third.
And you can better believe that it'll help shut down a running game. And as much as you run on pitchers and catchers as a tandem, I'll tell you what, he'll make even a slow delivery to the plate seem like a lightning release.
So 2 outs here in the Rays third. Again, only 1 hit. It belongs to the man at the plate. That's Johnny Damon as Duffy gets ready with the wind and the pitch, and Damon takes a breaking ball inside ball 1. 1-0 Kansas City here in the Rays half of the third. Infield back everywhere except at third as Moustakas is in at the edge of the turf. And that pitch is a little bit low. 2 balls, no strikes. Outfield not all that deep. Swung around a little bit toward right. Now here's the 2-0. And it's low. 3 balls, no strikes. .39 pitches so far for Danny Duffy, just 22 years old, out of California, as the lefty gets ready to go, and the pitch on its way. And there's a strike call. 3-1 the count. Tom Foley coaches at third. George Hendrick down the line at first. Johnny, again, one of those guys that has really struggled at home compared to on the road. The 3-1 pitch. And that just missed ball 4. So a 2-out walk to Johnny Damon. And the Rays get a base runner. And with 2 gone, here's Evan Longoria. And Evan again grounding into a fielder's choice his first time.
Well, he can walk guys in bunches. I mean, last start, he had only 3 walks, but 2 of them came in the first inning. And it helped put him behind in facing Justin Verlander, which is not easy to do. Verlander goes today, in fact, against Cleveland. But he lost that game by 1 run, and he may look back and think that it was those walks early in the game that hurt him.
Here's the first pitch to Evan. He swings and loops one down the left field line. That's going to get down for a base hit. Gordon over to go get it. Wide turn at second by Damon, but Gordon, with all those outfield assists, keeps Damon at second base. The Rays with 2 on and 2 outs, and Ben Zobrist coming up. So for Evan, It's now 8 straight games that he has had a hit, a season high for him. And with the tying run for the Rays at second, the go-ahead run at first, Ben Zobrist will be the batter. He walked his first time, as it looked like Duffy was being very, very careful with him, especially with the left-handed hitter Casey Kochman waiting on deck. First pitch to Ben, and he takes a little bit low and inside ball one. Ben's right-handed swing really has improved as the season has gone on. 296 hitter from the right side, 276 overall, but only 4 of his 11 home runs have been from this side of the plate. But he does have opposite field power. You can see him drive one to right central on occasion. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a little thumber foul back toward us. Going into the real TV booth there, I think, maybe.
It's probably empty today.
I think it is. That's 1 ball, 1 strike. You think when Neil Solondz comes on and does some play-by-play that Dwayne and Brian would be mad if I went and sat in their seat? Just to feel the power of television. Of HD TV. Now the 1-1 and a breaking ball that misses inside. 2 balls, 1 strike. Bottom of the third here at Tropicana Field. 1-0 Kansas City. The Rays with another scoring threat. They had 2 on in the first inning and couldn't get anybody in. Now 2 on with 2 outs here in the third. Duffy from the belt. The 2-1 to Ben. Swing and a drive to the gap in left center field. Cabrera going back. He's not going to get it. It's off the wall. And Karam's away from him. Damon will score. Longoria around third. He will score. Zobrist in the third with a stand-up 2-run triple. And the Rays take a 2-1 lead here in the third.
A lot of ballparks, that's a home run, but that is the deepest part of Tropicana Field, a little triangle on the left center. And the tough angle there for any fielder is what just happened. It is the fact that it hits the wall that's angled towards right center. And that carom is what allows a double to become a triple relatively easily.
So the Zobrist triple, his 6th of the season. Knocks in runs 66 and 67. And here's Casey Kochman, and he takes a swing and fouls the first pitch off for strike 1. This inning started rather quietly, too, with a fly ball to right and a little grounder back to the mound, but the walk by Damon set up the base hit by Longoria and then the triple by Zobrist, and the Rays have jumped on top of the Royals here, and now see if Kochman can get that third run in. Here's the 0-1, and just a little bit outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Again, Casey swinging the bat as well as he has ever in his career. And again, he's batting .438 over his last 12 games. On this homestand, he's hitting almost .500. He's 16 for 35. The 1-1. There's a strike call, and the count 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to count. Zobrist leads at third. Sean Rodriguez waits. 50th pitch of the day for Duffy. And it almost hit him. Spun Kochman around there, and the count evening up at 2 balls, 2 strikes. Well, that's one of the things the Rays have been doing better on this homestand, too. They've had their fair share of 1, 2, 3 innings, believe me. The Rays have cornered the market on that, but they have done a better job of starting some rallies with 2 outs. The 2-2 pitch. Slow spinner missed high, and now the count goes full to 3-2. I mean, I don't know if anybody really wants to talk about cornering the markets nowadays with the Dow tumbling the way it is, but the Rays have cornered the market on those 1, 2, 3 innings. But today they have a little 2-out rally going and have gained a 2-1 lead because of it. Now time called as Duffy and Perez take too much time. Infield back, they play Kochman the pull. Not quite to the extent where you have 3 men to the right of second, but you're seeing the Royals employ a guy right behind the bag at second as there's a swing and a foul. And I wonder, again, the thing is, though, yes, a lot of his singles do go back up the middle, but Casey's not just a one-way kind of guy. He will go all over the field. And the Royals feel like if he's going to go on the ground, it's probably going to be up the middle, and that's why they've been putting Escobar there the last couple of days. Here's another 3-2 pitch. Swinging another foul in the play.
And that's as much as anything why he's been hitting for a higher average, is that he fouls off the pitcher's 2-strike pitch and keeps doing it until he can get his own pitch to hit. And then, it almost doesn't matter if that pitch that he likes is out or in, because he does, as you say, go all over the field.
So the 3-2 pitch again. Swing and a miss. He got him on a slow curveball there. Casey looked like he kind of double clutched but couldn't get it. And the Rays are finished here in the third. But a 2-out triple by Ben Zobrist has given the Rays a 2-1 lead as we go to the fourth on the Rays Baseball Network. Watch party this Wednesday at the Hooters in St. Pete at 2250 Tyrone Square as the Rays battle the Red Sox. Enjoy $3.25 Bud Big Daddy mugs as well as $5 shrimp specials and $5.99 boneless wings and fries. First pitch 1:35. Live pregame show starts at 1. And the call to play-by-play here in the fourth is our AAA Durham Bulls broadcaster Neil Soltz.
Thanks very much, Dave. Jeff Neiman starts Johnny Giavitello with a called strike, a fastball, and it's 0-1. Giavitello lined out to third to end the opening inning, where Neiman gave up his run. The 0-1 from the line is lined toward the hole at short, backhanded from deep. Elliott Johnson. He plants and throws, a nice play, and one down here in the fourth inning. Terrific play by Elliott Johnson to get the leadoff hitter Giavitello.
And again, when you talk about the Rays defensively, it was one of the reasons why Reed Brignac kind of stuck here a lot longer than a lot of other guys would have, with his batting average in the high 100s. And it's also one of the reasons why Joe has been very, very comfortable in putting Elliott Johnson out there, despite his offensive problems at times. And again, the Rays have two shortstops, or maybe even make that three shortstops, who can cover a lot of ground and have really, really good big league arms over them.
Now another righty, Salvador Perez, takes a called strike. Fastball from Neiman, who started to settle into a nice rhythm here after a very tough first inning where he threw 25 pitches. He winds an 0-1. Perez rolls it toward short. Easier play this time for Johnson in front of it. On to first in time to get the catcher Perez. And 2 up, 2 down on 4 pitches for Jeff Neiman here in the fourth inning. We told you he had a 25-pitch first, then a 14-pitch second, a 6-pitch third, and now 4 pitches to get the first 2 batters in the fourth.
Is he in a hurry to get to New York or what?
Leading 2-1. And for Neiman, really, that's been the story in much of his career, has been either slow starts in games, and especially in day games, where he has always struggled. At 6'9" and 260, sometimes it's hard to get all those arms and legs moving in the right direction. As the pitch is outside a ball to the lefty Mike Moustakas, who lined a single to right his first time. 2-1 Rays in the fourth with 2 gone. Infield slightly to pull, outfield the same. The 1-0 is in there, a called strike. Changeup, and it's even at 1-1 on Mike Moustakas. Moustakas, one of the many prospects up in the big leagues for the first time with the Royals this year, as the pitch outside a ball, and it's 2-1. With Salvador Perez coming up yesterday, the batter just retired. The Royals have 11 active rookies on their 25-man roster. A 2-1. Fouled straight back, 2-2. By far, they are the youngest team in Major League Baseball. And sometimes that'll lead to some growing pains, as the Rays had to deal with when they were building their team to contend in the American League East. And the Royals experienced one of those in the 9th inning last night, and that terrific Rays come-from-behind win. With 2 out, a 2-2 from Neiman. Slow curve, waved out and missed. He got it. Good pitch from Jeff Neiman. He's now retired a total of 8 in a row. And a 1-2-3-4 ends with his first strikeout. So we're through 3.5. Rays 2, Kansas City 1 on the Rays Baseball Network.
Beach parties to celebrate 100 days of summer. That's not all. Each week they are giving away hotel stays throughout the St. Pete Clearwater area. Register for your chance to win at summerbeachbash.com. 2-1 Rays trying to add to it here in the bottom of the fourth.
Yeah, Sean Rodriguez takes a breaking ball too tall from Danny Duffy in the count, 1-0. Rays getting both their runs with 2 out last inning on a Ben Zobrist triple to left center. Rodriguez sky to right his first time. The 1-0 is a fastball at the knees, a called strike, and it's even at 1-1 on Sean, who is looking for his first hit of this series and against the Royals this year. 1-1. That's outside a ball, and it's 2-1. He is 0 for 19 against Kansas City this season. This is the last game between the two teams. Rays trying to win the last 5 after dropping the first 2. 2-1. A little bit too tall. And it's now 3-1 on Sean Rodriguez. Sam Fuld, Kelly Shopik to follow. 6, 7, and 8 in the order for the Rays. Looking to sweep this 4-game set at the Trop. 3-1 is high, ball 4, and while it's not a base hit, it is a leadoff base runner for the Rays. As Danny Duffy, who has struggled with the walks his last 4 starts, has now given up 3 free passes today.
You got to take what Again, lefty will give you, and again, it's one of the things that some of these Rays hitters have been doing better, and especially Sean Rodriguez all season long against left-handed pitching. He's been one of the better hitters for the Rays. It's just trying to get him right against righties, and we thought he was heading in the proper direction coming into this homestand in the early part of the homestand, and kind of took a step or two back here of late.
Sam Fuld up there. He squares to bunt, pushes it foul to the netting. And it's 0-1 on Fuld, who was robbed of a hit by Alex Gordon in left back in the second inning. And that would have given Sam Fuld a club record all to his lonesome. He would have been on base 9 consecutive times.
First time he's ever been retired in August.
Pretty good month.
He had been hot as the weather.
1 strike the count on Fuld. Rodriguez good lead at first. Duffy delivers, and he squared a bunt and a miss by Fuld. He's down 0-2. Again, 2-1 Rays. In the fourth, man on, none out. Escobar, Giavotella, the middle infield look for 2. The outfield straight away. Rodriguez 9 steals, held at first by Hosmer. We saw yesterday Perez has a cannon. And the 0-2. That's a fastball that just misses outside, 94 miles an hour. A ball and 2 strikes on Sam Fuld. Not only does he have a great arm, but you take a look at the starting staff of the Royals now. While they are young and they have struggled this year, they've got 3 lefties in their rotation. Now a 1-2 from the lefty. Duffy is too tall. A breaking ball, and it's 2-2.
Well, you look at some of the numbers, and again, you can spin numbers any way you want them. The spin doctors would look at them a number of different ways. 20 and 23 in 1-run games. Some people will say, all right, that's just young enough and just poor enough to keep on losing. But also, I mean, you just take 5 wins out of that mix. 5 games flipped the other way out of those 43. That's a very, very small percentage. And all of a sudden, they are right in the thick of things in the American League Central. And that really is how close these Kansas City Royals are. And it reminds me a little bit of where the Rays were in 2007, where you kind of found out when you got to the end of the season where you were, what you needed to get where you wanted to go. And that's where the Rays, again, applied and picked up Dan Wheeler, added a couple more pieces to their bullpen, brought in some veteran leadership for the offense. And I think a lot of it was done because during 2007, Andrew Friedman and his baseball staff really had a good idea of what they had and what they really needed to go get.
After 2 throws to first, Duffy fakes over, and Rodriguez edges back to the bat.
It's usually not as crystal clear as an HD as that year was, but
runners off. The throw to Hosmer down to second, and they've got the runner at second base. Sean Rodriguez on a pickoff 1-3-6 with Escobar the tag. Dave, that looked close to a balk.
It was a balk. It was a balk, but nobody called it. I think George Hendrick wanted to have a little chat with the first base umpire, Angel Campos, as that was not even a step. That wasn't a step to first base. That was a step straight down. And Sean tried to do whatever he could to try to get in the way of the throwing lane and then avoid the tag, but to no avail.
Now a ball looped in the air, foul, back behind home plate, heading to the seats, and Fuld alive with 1 gone in the fourth. Rays leading 2-1, but now the leadoff base runner is erased.
Again, and that's the object of the umpire there, to try objectivity and kind of pick it out, but there's probably a good 30 to 40% of the umpires in Major League Baseball would call that a balk.
2-2 now again. He swung on, fouled off the catcher Perez, and the count 2-2. And we were talking about Perez and his throwing arm, but they're one of the 3 lefties in the rotation. Balk or no balk, it wasn't called a balk. And Duffy,
slow running game down.
Yeah, Duffy, Bruce Chen, Jeff Francis, the 3 lefties in that Royals rotation. Certainly makes it hard to take off and steal a base.
And Duffy, one different than the other.
2-2 pitch is lined to the right. This is well struck. Frank Ford back, looking up, and this ball is off the bottom of the wall and a hop for extra bases. Fuld will cruise into second with a double. He's been on base 9 of his last 10 trips to the plate. His hot August continues.
The unfortunate thing is that if John Rodriguez doesn't get picked off, that probably knocks in a run. That was well struck to the base of the wall and right. Francoeur with a strong arm, barehanded it, and got it back in a hurry for Sam. Double number 17, but we were talking about the 3 lefties. It's almost like that old Sesame Street game where one of these things is not like the others. Duffy's the only one that throws hard. Chen, a real front of the plate kind of guy. We found out Francis the same way, but Duffy, mid-90s, does it a little differently than the elder statesman of this rotation.
Let's see what he does against Kelly Shopik. Hits now even at 4. Rays up 2-1. Runner at second and 1 out in the 4th. Duffy checks back at folded second. The pitch. Kelly swings, rolls it toward third. Easy play. Moustakas checks the runner back on to first in time to get Shopik. Now 0 for 2 in this ball game. And 2 out. A man at second here in the 4th for Elliott Johnson. Shopik, who normally hits lefties quite well, is played against 2 lefty starters in this series, Francis and Duffy, and still looking for that first hit against the Royals in this series. Elliott Johnson, as was mentioned by Dave, has had his scuffles as of late. And all of it really started when he went on the DL with a knee injury. He was really coming around prior to that. The pitch on its way, and it's fouled straight back. A fastball, 0-1. Applied to fairly deep right from the right side his first time. He is now 8 out of 72. That's 111 since coming off the DL.
And again, the contact has been a bit of a problem. He took a lot of called third strikes for a while. Then he was going and swinging and missing it a lot. It's just been a bit of a struggle for him.
0-1 is outside a ball, and it's 1-1. And sometimes that swing is hard to maintain from both sides of the plate when you're not playing that frequently, especially when you're not used to it. In the minors, he was an everyday player.
Well, you're right. You've watched him for you've watched him do both things. You've watched him be rather chilly a couple of years ago, and then you saw him really, really heat up. He is a guy that again has been very, very streaky throughout his career, mostly in the minor leagues, and even in the short time he's been here in the big leagues, we've seen him very, very good, and we've seen him not so good.
Batting right, which is his natural side at the plate. The 1-1 is on the inside corner. It's a curve from Duffy. It's a called strike. It's 1-2 on Elliott Johnson. Sam Fold, a double to right, stands at second. Rays got their 2 runs last inning on a 2-out extra base hit by Ben Zobrist. Looking for Elliott Johnson to help them cash in here in the 4th. The 1-2. That's down and in. Fastball just missed. Duffy thought he had strike 3. He was kind of hopping off the mound. He'll have to reset with a 2-2 count on Elliott Johnson. But despite the fact that he hasn't been hitting lately, he certainly has not let it affect his defense. Made a marvelous play last half inning to start the 4th for Jeff Neiman. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Off speed got him. And Elliott Johnson is the second strikeout victim of Duffy. 1 to end the 3rd, now to end the 4th. A walk, a double, a man left. After 4, it's the Rays 2, the Royals 1 of the Rays Baseball Network.
or visit RaysBaseball.com for more details. By the way, as we play tomorrow against the Yankees in New York, tomorrow's game locally will be on 970 WFLA, not our normal 620. Tomorrow's broadcast on our flagship station will be 970 WFLA. And once again, here's Neil Solon.
Thank you. As Jeff Neiman starts ALCIDES Escobar with a fastball high. Escobar, the last man to reach against Neiman. On a little roller up the third base line, an infield hit. The pitch is in there. A fastball strike, and it's even at 1-1. Last 8 have been retired. Last 5 have not hit the ball out of the infield against Jeff. 1-1 pitch from Jeff is hit foul off to the right. Beyond the first base coaching box, and the count 1-2 on ALCIDES Escobar. It's 9-1-2 in the order. Alex Gordon, Melky Cabrera to follow here in the 5th. An RBI ground out by Eric Hosmer, the run in the first for the Kansas City Royals. 1-2. Fouled straight back. It's still 1-2. And when you look at the Rays starting pitching this entire series, it has been terrific. Jeremy Hellickson working into the 8th inning in Game 1. The complete game shutout by James Shields in Game 2. Joe Madden said today on his pregame that Wade Davis had his best stuff of the year in Game 3. A 1-2 from Neiman. Fouled off to the right on the curveball. And it's still 1-2. Jeff has found a pretty good groove, at least to this point, working in the 5th.
That's part of the reason, maybe the main reason why, if the Rays are going to make a run, it leads you to feel optimistic with the rotation all pretty much pitching well these days.
Certainly are. As Neiman, again a 1-2. And it's a curve roll to third. Wide of the bag with it, Longoria. On the run, throws low, but Kochman digs it out, and one gone here in the 5th. So make it 9 straight for Neiman.
You know, the Rays playing Yankees of Boston coming up. The teams ahead of them, 2 of the 3 teams ahead of them in the playoff races, and the Rays have done a good job of holding those offensives down. And those are 2 extremely loaded offenses. And if you can hold them down and squeak out a 4-3 win, and before you know it, you're back in it. But you know, the Rays are in a situation where they may have to get some sweeps. In fact, they will have to get some sweeps, not just win series.
First pitch to Alex Gordon is in there, a called strike. Certainly feel that way, Andy. 18 games left between the Rays against the Yankees and Red Sox. Probably have to win 14 of those games to make up the ground they need to do to catch one of those clubs. There's a pitch in there, a called strike. It's 0-2 on Gordon, who is singled, scored the only run, and fly to center field. He's 1 for 2 in this ballgame.
One advantage that the Rays have over other teams that sometimes go to New York and Boston is that the Rays do it so much that there's no wow factor anymore. There is no intimidation whatsoever throughout the last 4 years.
Neiman's 0-2 is rolled to first. Casey Kochman up with it. Underhand flip to Neiman. The 6'9" righty over there ahead of Gordon. And that's 10 straight. 2 gone in the 5th with a 2-1 lead.
You take a team like the Milwaukee Brewers, one of the top teams going in baseball, and they played some of the worst, most intimidated-looking baseball this year when they went to New York and Boston in the interleague play. I would fear for them in a postseason situation because they did not play like themselves. Now, I know they're not nearly as good on the road, but they had that kind of wide-eyed look when they were in those series. And the Rays, who used to have that in the Devil-Ray years, but really haven't since 07 and 08.
Well, when you play a team a quarter of your schedule, like the Yankees and Red Sox, you're accustomed. As the pitch coming, and it's just outside to a former Yankee, Melky Cabrera, and the count 1-0. A bunt single in 2 turns today. He had a big 5 RBI day yesterday, and now 6 hits in this 4-game set. 27 years of age today is Melky Cabrera. A 1-0. Hit hard toward the middle, threw into center field, base hit. Make it 7 hits in the 4 games for Melky. And a happy birthday to this point with 2 hits and 3 turns against Neiman.
Man, he is some kind of hot. And again, you were talking about switch hitters with Elliott Johnson up. To be hot from both sides of the plate is quite a weapon.
And to be consistent from both sides of the plate. 5th hit off Neiman, a 2-out single in the 5th. It's 2-1. Rays in front, and here's Billy Butler, the DH.
Neiman had retired 10 straight, and now Cabrera, who can run also, 14 steals, and you know they want to go against Neiman.
Had a stolen base in the double steal in the 1st inning. That led to the Royals' run. Neiman throws over, and back in standing is Cabrera. Billy Butler has not had a whole lot of success against Jeff Neiman. Now he's had a couple of almost today, kind of a humpback liner to shallow left center field to the shortstop Johnson. And a looper to center that the second baseman Rodriguez ran down. That in his first 2 at-bats. Righty on righty, Neiman ready. And the pitch. That's a breaking ball for a called strike, and it's 0-1. Butler is now 1 for 15 lifetime against Jeff Neiman. Obviously, pretty good power, though, with 28 doubles, 13 homers, 61 ribbies, and the lead run at the plate, with the Royals trailing the Rays 2-1 in the 5th. Neiman fiddling with the ball behind his back, now set. And he comes downhill. Instead throws to first, and Cabrera dives back in safely. Jeff has not lost a game since coming off the DL. He is 5-0 and 6-4 on the year. He's really been a new guy since coming off the DL with the back troubles. Peeks over at Cabrera, who adds a half step to his lead. 1 strike pitch. Fastball high inside, and it's 1-1.
I remember, Neil, talking to you, I'm going to say maybe 07, or maybe it was 08 when the Durham Bulls had made the playoffs, and you said that Neiman was at his best late in the year and in the pressure games in the postseason. And he does seem to revel in that sort of situation, and that has boded very well for him here in the major leagues.
Well, hopefully it continues that way, and there are more meaningful games for the Rays in August and September as the pitch is in there, a called strike. And it's 1-2. A good slider from Jeff Neiman. He really has mixed it up well. He's thrown his slider, his curve, his fastball, and his splitter, all for strikes today.
And he really hasn't thrown that many sliders of late. He used to, and I guess he's found the feel for it again.
Angles in for the sign from Kelly Shopping. Again, Cabrera, a 2-out single to center at first. We're in the 5th, 2-1 Rays over the Royals. Throw over, and Cabrera in standing.
It's hard to imagine a guy at 6'9" having a quick move or being able to hold runners on, even if he were to slide step. It just takes a long time for the arm stroke to come through, and it's just one of the downsides of being that tall a pitcher.
Certainly the upside, the downward plane in which he can deliver. Neiman delivers way high, a fastball, and it's now 2-2. No downward plane there.
No, and one thing that actually might be holding Cabrera close to the base is that with 2 outs, they don't want to take the chance. They want Butler to bat here, a guy that can knock the ball out of the park.
Despite his lack of success against Neiman.
Yeah, that's right. And because Shopping himself has been throwing well. And Cabrera's had a sore ankle also in the games leading up to this series. You wouldn't know it, though, the way he's been playing.
Certainly not. As Neiman at the ready. Here's the 2-2. Fastball way high and outside, and it's full. Jeff has not pitched much out of the stretch since the 2nd inning. In fact, he allowed 4 of his 5 hits to the first 9 batters of the ballgame. Went 10 straight batters without allowing one, and now pitching out of the stretch. I wouldn't say he looks uncomfortable, but he's missing way high in his fastball.
Yep. And that's the danger. Those fastballs are flat if they're up.
Cabrera will be off here. With 2 out, the 3-2 is rolled foul toward third. That was another fastball up, grounded into the seats behind the Royals dugout third base side.
You know, it's not like he can't have an elevated fastball. That he can, but it's got to be balanced by working the bottom of the zone also and just put another thought in their mind, especially if he's got the slider and curveball going. He can get an elevated fastball by hitters, but he just can't be living up there.
1 strikeout today, 1 walk so far for Neiman. Peeks over at Cabrera. Short lead held again by Kochman. 3-2 again. That's high, ball 4. So now a hit and a 2-out walk. And Eric Hosmer, the cleanup man with the only RBI today for Kansas City, comes to the plate. And Kelly Shopping will go out to the mound to have a word with Neiman.
And we'll have a look at the BB&T Insurance Services out-of-town scoreboard. BB&T Insurance Services, global resources, client-focused. The A's have hung a 6th spot on the board in Toronto as they play in the 3rd inning. And with Brad Mills going for the Blue Jays, he's still out there, but the A's have scored 6 without a home run. It's 6-0 Oakland. Blue Jays without a hit so far. Top of the 2nd, Yankees and Angels scoreless in the Bronx. Angels have bases loaded 2 out against Bartolo Colon, and actually that inning just ended without a run scoring. And we'll keep you posted, of course.
Now Neiman dealing with Hosmer, righty to lefty. Here's the pitch. That's in there, a called strike. Sharp curveball from Neiman, and it's 0-1. Hosmer had a hit, his first at bat of this series, for the only run for Kansas City. in a 2-1 Rays come from behind win that ended with a Kochman walk-off homer. He is looking for his first hit since. 0-1. Fastball inside. Moves Hosmer off the plate. It's 1-1. 2 groundouts today. What a nice play the last time by Kelly Shotbeck on a little roller up the third base line. Ground out to second, a ground out to the catcher. 1 for a dozen in this set is the rookie Eric Hosmer. 1-1. Swing and a miss. Chased a high fastball out of the zone, and perhaps a little frustration building for the youngster as it's 1-2.
Well, that pitch reminiscent of the one he fouled off in the first inning. It was up and away. He was able to foul that one earlier on off, but you're not going to catch up to that one too often there, or put any sort of good hard contact going.
2 on, 2 out, 2-1 Rays in the 5th. Neiman a 1-2. Curveball just missed outside. Shotbeck also dropped it. And it's now 2 balls and 2 strikes. I don't know if they would have called it a strike if he caught it, but normally you're not going to get the call third strike if it isn't caught cleanly.
Doesn't help.
So now it's 2-2 on Hosmer, who's had a real solid rookie campaign with 10 homers and 48 batted in. Native Floridian waiting, a 2-2. Ground ball rolled past the mound to short. With it behind second, Elliott Johnson. Sidearms to first in time to get Hosmer, and the inning is over. A hit, a walk, and 2 left for the Royals here in the 5th, midway through. It's the Rays 2, the Royals 1 on the Rays Baseball Network.
Leaving a pair aboard there. They've left 6 so far. And as we go to the last of the 5th inning, top of the order for the Rays. And once again, here is Neil Solondz.
Thanks very much, Andy. Royals now 0 for 6 against Jeff Neiman with men in scoring position, as Desmond Jennings takes a fastball strike at the knees, 0-1. Jennings had yesterday off. He's hit a comebacker and a foul pop to the catcher, Salvador Perez. 0 for 2 in the ballgame. Had a big pinch hit last night as the pitch looped in the air, right center field, over and in. Cabrera on the run, dives and can't get it, and rolls off his glove. On to second goes Desmond Jennings. Now he's racing to third. Giovatello will not make a throw, and Jennings on a low loop into right center has a stand-up triple. Oh, that was terrific alert base running. He saw the middle infielders going out. He saw nobody covering the bag, and he just took off.
You know what? We've been fortunate enough to watch Carl Crawford, B.J. Upton, Joey Gathright, some of the fastest players in baseball at their height when they were here with the Rays. And I don't think I've ever seen anyone go first to third, gliding the way Desmond Jennings did. I mean, and the way he read that play was something to behold.
And he has terrific instincts on the base pass, as that is his 3rd triple. 5th hit for the Rays. Johnny Damon up with the infield in, and he takes a breaking ball strike. Obviously, the Royals have struggled to score runs in this series, so Ned Yost elects to bring the infield in. Man at third, none out. against Damon, who really the last few days has started to swing it well after a 2 for 31 stretch. A walk, a run scored, and a single to left today. 0-1. That's outside with a breaking ball, and it's 1-1 on Damon. 9 homers, 50 batted in. And today moved all alone into 65th place on the all-time hit list with his single in the first. 1-1. Swing and a looper, back of third, foul over the dugout of the Royals into the second row. And it's 1-2.
The Rays have had a mantra here the last couple of years: get the man in, and that's what they have to do in this spot. Man at third, nobody out, up 2-1 in the 6th inning. Infield in, and Damon may be the best guy, not only on this team, but one of the best in baseball at getting the man in just this kind of spot.
Duffy, left on left offers, and a breaking ball looped in the air toward the plate area. Perez, the call and the catch. The catcher makes the play halfway between the plate and the mound, and this time Damon does not come through, and it's up to Evan Longoria with 1 out in the 5th, and the Rays up 2-1.
They'll keep the infield in, I would think, with Longoria at the plate. A lot of times, though, the momentum swings back the other way when the first guy doesn't get that man home, but doesn't mean he can't score here.
Well, we'll see if Longoria can pick up an RBI for his 3rd straight game. All the extra early work and maybe the new haircut paying off. 17 homers, 63 batted in for the third baseman Longoria. The pitch with the infield in is a breaking ball inside for ball 1. Again, Jennings the runner at third. He looped a triple into right center to start the inning. It's 2-1 Rays over the Royals. Both runs on a triple by Ben Zobrist with 2 out in the 3rd. 1-0 pitch. Fastball fouled straight back. Longoria just missed it. And it's 1-1. 92 miles an hour from Duffy. His pitch count climbing. He's now at 80 in the ballgame. And he's lasted just over 5 innings on average in his starts, working in the 5th. The 1-1. That's a breaking ball high inside. It's 2-1. Well, Desmond Jennings starting this inning with a triple. Since he came up from AAA, the Rays are averaging nearly a run more per game. Having a steady leadoff hitter as a 2-1 is driven in the air to left center field. This will get the run home. Cabrera back and under it, the center fielder. He makes the catch. Jennings can practically walk home. He's in there standing up. It's a sac fly for Longoria. And the Rays lead it 3-1 over the Royals now in the 5th. Good piece of hitting by Evan.
Well, it is, and you're talking about how the Rays are scoring about a run per game better, and it's on moments like being able to go from second to third on that ball to shallow center field. I mean, a lot of guys would be satisfied to settle in at second with a double. Some guys might have even just been happy to be at first base on that sort of a dunker. The fact that he can turn that into 3 bases turns into an instant run for the Rays.
And certainly it's nice to have that kind of explosiveness from the leadoff spot as Ben Zobrist, who exploded with a 2-run triple in the 3rd to give the Rays the lead, takes a strike. And now it's 6 triples on the year. All alone in 2nd place in the American League in extra base hits. Closing in on Curtis Granderson is the 0-1. Hit hard toward third. Nice stab by Mike Moustakas on a 1-hopper. He fires to first, gets Zobrist, and the Rays are retired in the 5th. But the Rays get a run. On 1 hit, the Jennings triple, none left. After 5, Rays 3, Royals 1 on the Rays Baseball Network. Time now to answer today's St. Pete Times trivia question. It was answered by Ed Lynch of St. Petersburg. Page 4, today's Times Sports. Following last night's 5-run ninth-inning comeback, was the last year an American League game ended on a triple in an error. It was 1959. Our trivia question brought to you by the St. Pete Times, official newspaper of the Tampa Bay Rays. And to join us here in the 6th, here's Andy.
All right, Dave. Thank you, Dave. I've been saying that for 7 years. All right, Neil, thank you very much. And strike one on a swing and a miss here to Jeff Francoeur. He has walked and hit a comebacker. And even takes low and away. Hope to have you back again later this year, Neil. But give us an update on what the latest is with the Durham Bulls. I know they lost a game in the standings yesterday. Justin Morneau, I guess, had a pretty good game for Rochester on a rehab.
Twins would certainly like to have him back. The sooner the better. They are 2 up on Gwinnett, the Braves affiliate.
There's the 1-1 fouled away, and it's 1-2.
And that's now with 26 games left in the regular season.
That's right. People may or may not know that the AAA season ends after 144 games, which is usually right around Labor Day weekend.
Labor Day is the actual end of the regular season. And it looks like the Indians affiliate, Columbus, is going to win the West, and it's a 2-team race in the South.
Right, the Durham Bulls are in the South, and there is 3 divisions in the International League and then 1 wild card. The 1-2 pitch, curveball popped in the air to straightaway center. Jennings to his left behind the burst is under and waiting, makes the catch for round number 1. What's the rest of what's the East and the wild card right now?
The North Division right now, I would say, is going to be between Pawtucket, the Red Sox affiliate, Lehigh Valley, the Phillies, and Scranton, the Yankees, and it may depend upon September 1st call-ups.
And that's right, they could all get ravaged, right?
Mm-hmm. And, well, who knows? If the Rays make a nice run here, the roster changes, and for good reason.
You've already taken about half your roster this year, haven't we? Here is Johnny Giovitello. And Neiman's first pitch on away ball 1. We were joking with Joe Madden earlier this year that maybe he needs to send a thank you gift to Charlie Montoya, the manager of the Durham Bulls, for all he's provided and helped to provide this year for the Rays on the field. 1 ball, no strikes. Neiman works. Fastball. I called him on the outside 1-1.
And Charlie's done a terrific job. He has won 4 straight division titles and is looking for a 5th.
Well, you get a chance to visit with him on a daily basis as we get a chance to visit Joe and greatly enjoy him. As that ball is hit in the air to center field. Jennings, same spot as last time, a little more to his left. Looking up to the daytime zone for 2 down. But I know you speak very highly of Montoya as a field manager.
Yeah, and the whole staff is terrific. I mean, people forget that Dave Myers, the hitting coach, was the third base coach on Lou Pinella's 116-win club. And Neil Allen has certainly played a large role in the development of the top prospect now in minor league baseball, in lefty Matt Moore, and the job the overall staff has done down there.
Mm-hmm. You were saying that Matt Moore may be the best you've seen at AAA.
At AAA, yes, to this point. He's been absolutely terrific.
And now right-hand batting Salvador Perez looks at a cold strike 0-1. 3-1 Rays over the Royals. We are in the 6th inning. Perez has popped to second and grounded to short. Neiman looking to get through 6. And he's been very strong since the first. There's a fastball high, 1 ball, 1 strike. So after here, you're going to literally shuffle off to Buffalo, right?
Buffalo, Scranton, and Norfolk for a 10-game 3-city road trip.
We always keep an ear on what's going on with Durham Bulls and you. And I'd love to have you with us this week.
Been a lot of fun.
1 ball and 1 strike. And even from the windup, it throws curveball, swung on the missed strike 2. I always thought, Dave and I both spent a lot of time in the minor leagues. I always felt that, and still do, that following only Major League Baseball is almost like just seeing the final chapter of a book or just seeing the final scene of a movie. It's interesting to see these guys develop and blossom into major leaguers. As there's Perez hitting one into center field for his 2nd major league hit.
Well, he's been an impressive kid the last couple of days. Waited nicely in a curveball.
How many 21-year-olds do that as calmly looking as Perez just did? It's funny, too, as I find out over the years that there are guys that you think are can't miss in the minor leagues and miss, and there are guys that you think maybe a cup of coffee, maybe nothing, and they turn out to be big leaguers. And then there are guys that are 21 that seem to have it carved ahead of them.
And you never know.
Yep, you never know. That is such a true point of professional baseball. Mike Moustakis looks at a cold strike 0-1, but you guys don't see the Royals too much. Their AAA is in Omaha in the Pacific Coast League.
And this year I got to do the All-Star game, and Johnny Giovitello, who was retired early in the inning, was part of that. There were several members of the Omaha Royals that were there, or now the Storm Chasers, their new name.
The 0-1 one little spin around to the hole at short. Johnson in front of it. Thought about second and now has no play. Now that ball was softly hit and spun its way towards short. Elliott hesitated for both second and for first and got neither one.
I thought he still had a play at first base. Now maybe he couldn't get a grip on the ball because there was so much spin. It was hit off the end of the bat. And he kind of double pumped a little bit. But I thought he still had a play on Mike Moustakas, who isn't terribly fast.
So the Royals get 2 on. They get the tying runs aboard with 2 out. And now ALCIDES ESCOBAR. Did anyone stand out to you at the AAA All-Star game this year as, oh, that guy's pretty impressive?
I thought most of the arms were impressive, and they usually are when you see him in one-inning stints.
ESCOBAR, that's true. It takes a curveball cold strike from Neiman, and it's 0-1.
But Russ Kanzler, who is a member of the Rays organization, drove in the only runs of the ball game with a 3-run homer to right center. And he has terrific power to the center of field and the opposite field. And he's a guy to watch. He's been very impressive.
0-1 here to ESCOBAR. And that pitch, line drive, base hit right field. Now ZOBRIST charged and fielded it in a hurry, and getting the stop sign to third is Perez. And the bases are loaded. And what a job by ZOBRIST, who is playing fairly shallow and right anyway. But it's funny, we see the Rays do that a lot more than other teams. The off-field outfielder, in other words, with a right-handed batter up the right fielder, plays shallow. And that way, on that kind of play, you can cut down a run.
And it certainly did there. Obviously, you've got a catcher running in Perez. And Eddie Rodriguez didn't want to take a chance there on ZOBRIST, who has a very good arm and who was awful quick with the release. He was barely hitting third when that ball was fielded on a hop by ZOBRIST. Jim Hickey will go out and have a chat. This is a big point in the ball game. You've had 3 straight hits from the bottom third of the order. And now you've got bases loaded, 2 out, and you've already got the lead run at first base here.
So after 2 down, no one on, the bottom of the order setting the table again, similarly to what they had done in the second inning. When Moustakas and ESCOBAR got aboard. It's been all singles today for the Kansas City Royals, but they've got 8 of them. And now the top of the order, and Alex Gordon, a base hit, could tie it. Jim Hickey to the mound to talk things over with Neiman, and the meeting breaks up. 92 pitches for Jeff. Gordon with a single and a run scored in the first, a fly ball to center in the second, and he's also grounded out to first. It ended a stretch of 10 in a row by Neiman. And the Royals with Perez, Moustakas, and ESCOBAR, the runners aboard, and Gordon standing in. Well, for a guy that hits leadoff in the order, he's been up at RBI spots in this series quite a bit. And the first pitch swung on and missed, and it's 0-1.
Perhaps showing a little bit of his youth. This is certainly a huge hitter, not only because of the tying run in scoring position, but Melky Cabrera, a red-hot hitter on deck, and you don't want to have Cabrera come up in this 6th inning right now.
It's called protection, no doubt. They don't want to see Cabrera, and they want to get Gordon to get out of this. 0-1. And even on top, third base side of the rubber, comes to the plate, and that pitch just missed inside, a little two-seamer that he tried to tail back over the inner half. And too high as well, 1 ball, 1 strike. And Gordon with 58 batted in, and a 300 hitter coming into the day. A turning point at bat of the game right here. One way or another. 1 ball, 1 strike. Down the hill comes Neiman. Curveball, left it high, 2-1. So he's backing himself into a corner a bit. 2 balls, 1 strike. Gordon will take a walk. He also will strike out 99 times this year to lead the team. Doesn't matter what kind of an out, any kind of out. Pickoff play at second, no throw. Johnson cutting in, and Moustakas back to the bag. 3-1 Rays. The Royals have the tying and go-ahead runs aboard. Defense straight up for the most part. Johnson at short, shaded towards the middle. They play him to pull on the right side of the diamond. As Neiman ready to work, he delivers 2-1. Swinging a foul as and that fastball was up, but he just couldn't get him on top of that pitch. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
You look at this sequence. Joe Madden talks about accepting your walks. Gordon hasn't seen a strike in this at bat. Both pitches he swung at have been high fastballs.
I think Neiman would like to go to his curveball here. That's been a big out pitch for him. But has he thrown enough of them for strikes today to keep the hitter honest? 2-2 to count. The right hitter ready and throws. A check swing and a foul attempted was held onto by Schaffik to retire the side. Jeff Neiman got Gordon to chase the highest of all of those pitches in the sequence and get out of the jam, and the Royals leave him loaded. And Neil Solondz, our very best, will be listening on the postgame show today, and look forward to having you back later on.
Very much appreciated.
You bet. Middle of the sixth, it is the Rays 3, Kansas City 1 on the Rays Radio Network.
Dave Wills back here in the broadcast booth with Andy Freed as the Rays get ready to hit here in the sixth. They survived a bit of a scare in the top half of the frame and now try to tack on to their 2-run lead.
They will, as Casey Kochman will start it. And Duffy throws a strike over the inside to Kochman. Duffy's been good. You can see why the Royals like him. He's thrown good fastball, big roundhouse curve today that he struck Kochman out on in the third inning. One of his more impressive pitches of the afternoon. And there's a breaking ball pulled down to first. Back to field, Hosmer has to leave it for Duffy on the bag, and that retires Kochman. He's 0 for 3, 1 out of the sixth inning.
Tune into This Week in Rays Baseball, presented by Budweiser every Saturday at noon on our flagship station. Budweiser, the official beer of Major League Baseball, a proud sponsor of your Tampa Bay Rays. And Neil Solondz will have a nice interview with Robinson Chirinos. That'll be part of the festivities here on Saturday. Again, thanks to Neil for filling on in, and the Rays tack on a run while he was doing so.
Here now is Sean Rodriguez. He is fly to right and walked, and he takes low, 1 ball, no strikes.
I wanted to go spend the inning in the TV booth. Wanted to sit in Dwayne's chair, and the Kansas City TV guys were in there. They I mean, what's up with that?
They're not on today.
Their booth is open. I think he wanted to film.
Rodriguez loops one over first, and Hosmer jumps up and yanked the ball down. That was some serious hang time there for Eric Hosmer. Well, for Hosmer, who's tall anyway, if you list him at 6'4", he could have dunked the basketball as high as he jumped in.
If he keeps on doing that, you're going to be calling him Eric Hopsmer. Or Hopsmer. Yeah, there we go. That's Drew messed it up. How can you do a McCarver and get it wrong? You got to be able to do it right. You don't get credited with a McCarver if you get it wrong the first time. That doesn't work.
I can't give it to you.
Nope.
Sorry. 2 down, nobody on for Sam Fold. And the first pitch low. Rays haven't gone down in order since the second inning. And they have 2 out, no one on here. In the third, Rays had 2 out, no one on, and then got 2 runs right after that. 90th pitch of the day by Danny Duffy. And a breaking ball low and outside. It's 2-0. 3-1 Rays. They grabbed the lead in the third, tacked on another in the fifth. And here in the sixth, Rays do have a left-hander warming in the bullpen. It's J.P. Howell. And Fold takes a strike over the inside 2-1. 97 pitches for Neiman. see how the Rays might want to piece it together. They were the 7th. Perhaps Howell's up for the Hosmer spot. 3rd batter of the inning. We'll see. 2-1. Duffy throws. Outside corner called strike 2-2.
Well, I mean, I'm sorry about that, but, again, you've got Jeff Neiman, who has thrown that many pitches. He hasn't really been really sharp today. I think he's benefited from the Royals maybe being a little too antsy a couple of times, chasing pitches out of the zone. Big break in the 6th inning when that happened.
Bold swings and yanks it down to first, and Hosmer's been awfully busy this inning. Gathers it in and goes to the bag for the unassisted putout. The Rays are retired 1-2-3 in the 6th.
We'd be surprised if JP started the inning, but I'm not sure if that's going to happen.
We'll keep an eye and figure it out as we get ready for the 7th. It is the Rays 3 and the Royals 1 on the Rays Radio Network. The totals through 6. Rays 3 runs, 5 hits, no errors, and 4 left. Kansas City 1 run, 8 hits, no errors, 9 men left aboard. Jeff Neiman back to work with 97 pitches thrown. Rays bullpen is active, and so too is the man to my left as we go to the 7th. Here is Dave Wills.
All right, Eddie, thank you very much. As Neiman gets ready to go to work, and the first pitch is taken a little bit inside for ball 1. Cabrera today has singled a couple of times, and he's also flying to right. Now the 1-0 pitch. And that's in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rays with double barrel action going on down in that right field pen. Robinson Chirinos has joined Scott Kersey in catching Joel Peralta and J.P. Howell. Now the pitch rolled back up toward the middle and by and off the dive attempt of Sean Rodriguez. He got the glove on it, but Cabrera again working the middle of the field, picking up the base hit, and the Royals with the leadoff hitter aboard, and Joe Madden with a decision to make maybe. And as he ponders his decision, let's take 10 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the Rays Baseball Network. I am Dave Wills. We are inside Tropicana Field on this Thursday afternoon. Rays with a 3-1 lead. Jeff Neiman has thrown 100 pitches so far here today as the right hitter spins and throws to first. Cabrera back. Chris Miller is our engineer here at the ballpark. Jeff Patridge taking care of business back at our studios. And Dan Bayer, production assistant. Neil Solon's helping us out on the broadcast today as both pregame and postgame host. He's also helped out with a couple of innings of play-by-play. We thank him for doing that. Good job, well done. Neiman ready. Here's the pitch. Swing and a pop-up. Foul territory first base side that's going to get out of play. And it's a souvenir for somebody near the back row of the lower level. We'll count 0-1. 92 on that fastball. Again, Jeff, early on, it's been he's really had an issue commanding his fastball today, although you really wouldn't know it. 70 strikes, only 31 balls in his 101 pitches thrown today, but hasn't really had that clean downward plane to his fastball as much as he probably would like. He's scattered the 9 hits so far during the 6+ innings. Infield looking at turn 2 and another throw to first, and again Cabrera back. 14 stolen bases, 15 stolen bases for Melky Cabrera so far this season. He had one back in the first. Rays have only been able to put together 5 hits. They've been out a hit. 9-5 would lead that all-important run category at this point anyway. 3-1. Now the 0-1. And a big spinner missed badly, and they count 1 ball, 1 strike. Neiman laboring a little bit right now. He threw, what was it, about 119 pitches his last time out. That was a career high. Walter and J.P. Howell look to be ready down that right field line. Royals scored a run in the first, Rays 2 in the third, and another run in the 5th inning. The triple has come into play for the Rays a couple of times today. Billy Butler, a doubles machine, waits on the 1-1 from Jeff Neiman. Runner goes. The pitch is slapped to the right field. On the run is ZOBRIST into the corner. He'll get there to make the catch. Cabrera has to hit the brakes and head back to the bag at first, and that's on number 1.
Joe Madden did the top step, Dave, and I'm thinking he's going to come out and bring in Howell with Hosmer, and they might match it up, Howell for Hosmer, Peralta for Francoeur, but let's see what Joe wants to do. 103 pitches for Neiman, 71 for strikes, and it looks like the call has been made. So Howell's going to come on, and in case Eric Hosmer is the possible tying run. Man at first is Melky Cabrera with 1 out of the 7th. Rays 3, Kansas City 1. And this call bullpen is brought to you by Metro PCS Wireless Field. We'll be back in a moment. Tropicana Field as the glad hand goes up for Jeff Neiman. Back in a moment on the Rays Radio Network.
Is left-hander J.P. Howell. J.P. coming into the game. Last pitched in yesterday's game, went an inning and walked 1, struck out 1. It's not a lot of hit over his last 6 appearances, but during those 4 1/3 innings, he has walked 3. And again, the biggest thing for J.P. is to go back to being confident and challenging the hitters. As he throws the first. So, 1 out, runner at first. JP works to the third base side of the rubber as Cabrera walks off his lead at first. Peralta continues to warm down the right field line. Howell sets, now kicks and pitches. Swing and a miss. He had a huge cut, tried to tie that ball game up there, and Hosmer couldn't get it. It's 0-1. Hosmer today has grounded a second, knocked in the lone run of the game so far for the Royals. He's also hit a little spinner that Chapik was able to make a play on and then grounded it short. 6 1/3 for Neiman, scattered 9 hits. A couple of walks, a couple of strikeouts. Leads with the lead. Now the 0-1. Swinging a little looper in the left field. That's going to settle in for a base hit. On to second goes Cabrera as Fold gets it back in, and the Royals now have the tying runs aboard at first and second, and that'll bring up Jeff Francoeur and Joe Madden. That ball wasn't even back to the pitcher's mound. He's already on his already on his way out there. So JP gives up the hit to the only batter he faces, and now it's going to be up to Joel Peralta to try to get out of this mini mess. Rays with a 3-1 lead. This call to the bullpen brought to you by Metro PCS. Wireless for all. We'll tell you about the new Rays pitcher after this on the Rays Baseball Network.
With the Rays at Ferg's Sports Bar and Grill for a Rays watch party this Sunday. First pitch between the Rays and the Yankees from New York is 1:05, and the pregame show starts at 12:30. Enjoy food and drink specials and head for your chance to win Rays tickets and merchandise. See you this Sunday at Ferg's Sports Bar and Grill in St. Petersburg. Joel Peralta is on to work for the Rays. So it was Neiman who gave up the hit to Cabrera, got Butler on the fly to right. Howell came on, gave up the single to Hosmer, exit JP and enter Peralta. They'll go after Francoeur and then Gio Vitello. Double play is in order here. Peralta wouldn't mind getting that. It's 3-1 Rays, but the Royals have out-hit the Rays now 10-5. All 10 hits are singles.
So with runners at first and second, Francoeur, who is 0 for 2 today, walked his first time against Neiman, but grounded back to the mound and fly to center. Rays infield looking at turn 2. Francoeur, right-handed hitter, waits on Peralta as the right hitter again set to the belt. And here's the first pitch, and it's outside of ball. Peralta pitched for a little while last, obviously for a while with the Nationals, and Francoeur has faced him a couple of times. He's 2 for 2 against him coming into this series. Another big spot. Rays dodged a bullet in the 6th. The Royals left the bases loaded. They have 2 on, 1 out here in the 7th. Rays up 3-1 for now. Peralta's pitch on its way. Swing and a miss. And the count evening up at a ball and a strike. A couple of other goings on in Major League Baseball. They're playing in the Bronx this afternoon. And right now that game is in the top of the 4th, no score. Polo Colon on the hill for the Yankees in that one. Oakland has a 6-2 lead over the Toronto Blue Jays. That game in the top of the 5th. Now the 1-1 from Peralta. Nope, spin move to second, but no throw. Cabrera dives back in head first, but we didn't have to worry about it. Games in the National League that are underway, and the Mets and Padres tied at 2. That game in the bottom of the 7th. It's one of the few occasions where both the Mets and Yankees are home and they're playing day games.
That is odd.
At the same time. The 1-1 pitch. Outside, 2 balls, 1 strike. So a lot of baseball going on in the Big Apple. Bottom of the 6th inning. Cincinnati with a 2-0 lead over Colorado. The Cubs in Washington getting ready to go at Wrigley Field. 3-1 here. Cabrera leads at second. Hosmer does the same at first. Peralta can work as slow as the best of them here. Now the 2-1. Swing and a miss. Didn't look like a 91-mile-an-hour fastball, but he tied him up with it anyway, as Francoeur could not put that ball in play, and the count now evening up at 2 balls and 1 strike.
Frank Gore's done a lot of swinging and missing in this series, and he's a guy that you fear for the moment that he actually makes contact. He swings hard, and when he hits it, it goes. A big extra base hit guy.
15 homers, 33 doubles so far this year. You can hit it on the ground to somebody in a white jersey. That would be good news. Now Peralta again ready. The 2-2 pitch, runners go. It's swung and missed. Strike three. Throw to second, and they got him. Kelly Shopik with the strike him out, throw him out as he went to the tailing runner. And threw out Eric Hosmer, a fine move right there. And the strike him out, throw him out double play ends the Royals' threat here in the seventh. Seventh inning stretch time. Rays 3, Kansas City 1 on the Rays Baseball Network.
After the trail runner and Hosmer, Cabrera was going to have it stolen at third. He went for the back end, and usually that back end runner gets a slower jump than the guy in front of him because he's got to see if that runner at second is taken off.
Got to make sure he goes. Plus, Hosmer isn't as fast as Cabrera to begin with, so that's also a step in the right direction there as the Royals ran themselves out of that frame here. And now the Rays again with a chance to try to tack on here against Danny Duffy. Kelly Shopik, Elliott Johnson, and then Desmond Jennings. As the left-hander Duffy reaches in, he gets ready to throw his 94th pitch to Kelly Shopik, and he swings and grounds one to third. Fielded by Moustakas. His throw across in plenty of time. One pitch, one out. Shopik go for 3, and that'll bring up Elliott Johnson. Elliott today is fly to right, and he is also struck out. And a reminder, the Rays and Yankees again tomorrow night from the Bronx. And that game can be heard locally in the Tampa Bay area on 970 WFLA. Just a reminder that we will be moving that ball game for you. As the first pitch on its way to Elliott Johnson in there for strike one. So tomorrow's Rays-Yankees game again locally in the Tampa Bay area, 970 WFLA. Write it down and call your friends, call your cousins, call your brothers. So you tell them as well. There's a strike call, and it's 0-2. By the way, that strike him out, throw him out double play is a Sweet Bay double play. Each time the Rays turn their first double play of the game, Sweet Bay Supermarket will donate $600 to Feeding America, which brings us to a total of $48,000 so far this season. The 0-2, backdoored him, and it's a ball, 1-2. So a ball and 2 strikes to count to Elliott Johnson, getting the start at shortstop today. Nobody warming up yet in the Royals bullpen. This is pitch number 98 for Duffy. Here it is. And he takes high in the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitching matchups for the 3-game series in the Bronx. Tomorrow it'll be David Price up against CC Sabathia. On Saturday, Jeremy Hellickson and Phil Hughes, and then Freddie Garcia faces James Shields in the finale on Sunday. I was listening earlier that, again, you start thinking about the 18 games that these two teams, the Rays, Yankees, and Red Sox, will be playing, the three teams, and you can say how you want that you need to do 14 of 18 or what have you. It's just, it starts tomorrow. It starts tomorrow. You got to take care of business tomorrow. You need to get David Price right against the big boys.
Got to get David Price right.
Against everybody. The 2-2 pitch. Swinging a chopper over the mound to the shortstop, Escobar. He has it and throws out his counterpart. 2 gone. But this is one of those days where you need, if we say you need your best players to be your best players. And we've been belaboring the point about how you need ZOBRIST and Upton and Longoria and Johnny Damon to be better at home offensively, but overall, you need David Price to be just a couple of notches better. He's been better. The strikeout to walk ratio has improved, but his pitch per inning situation has been climbing over the last 10, 12 starts. I think. I mean, his first half of the season, very good. Second half has not been that good. First pitch on its way to Desmond Jennings is a ball. Next pitch, and that's over the outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike.
I love that David says he feels good physically, even better physically at this point this year compared to last year, but the results haven't been quite as consistent or quite as good.
Now the 1-1. Desmond grounds this one toward third. Moustakas on the short hop has it. From left of the mound throws out Jennings, and that will retire the side. The Rays go in order. To the 8th we go. 3-1 Rays on the Rays Baseball Network.
Here is today's healthy tip of the game, brought to you by Blue Cross Blue Shield of Florida. A concussion is an injury to the head that can often be overlooked. Whenever you've experienced any sort of impact to your head, you should always get it checked out by a trained professional. Always keep safety in mind in your pursuit of health.
Well, Joel Peralta starts the 8th inning, and the first pitch on its way to Johnny Giavotella is in there for strike 1. Johnny 0 for 3 in the game today. Spark plug of a player for these Royals, just called up earlier in the week, and the Royals really like the energy he brings to the ball club. Here's the 0-1. Swinging a foul at a play to the right side. The count in a hurry to 0-2. His parents own, I guess somebody told me, a pretty nice restaurant in the New Orleans area, and he's been, while he worked for the family business there, waiting tables and bussing tables and the like. He just never really wanted to do that for a living, so he's giving baseball a shot.
I'd say it's worked out okay. I mean, not like he was a walk-on guy. I mean, he was a second-round pick for the Royals, too.
0-2 the count. And the pitch on its way. Swinging a shot foul. Well, that the restaurant to baseball thing kind of works for a lot of people. You and I both took that route, although we didn't end up on the field. We ended up in the broadcast booth. But made my fair share of pizzas and hamburgers and spaghetti and chicken. And then I moved on. I graduated on to tacos, burritos, enchiladas.
You haven't lived until you've been pinched all morning by blue crabs right out of the water.
Never had to do that. Here's the 0-2. Strike 3 call. He got him with a fastball that caught the outside corner. And a good start to this 8th inning by Joel Peralta. 1 out here as the Rays hold on to a 3-1 lead.
I mean, did he do that quick pitch there? I think he did, but I couldn't quite tell. It was almost like a little bit of a quick pitch, but not quite as quick as he can make it.
So 1 out, and here's Salvador Perez. Perez singled his last time. He's had quite a beginning to his big league career. As Peralta sets, and the first pitch to him is driven into left field. That's a base hit. He is not missing anything right now. As Perez with a 1-out single to left, and here's Mike Moustakas, and Joe Madden might want to bring in the lefty, or is he? Again, Jake McGee warming up down the right field line, and Jake's had a little trouble keeping the ball in the ballpark his last 3 trips to that Tropicana Field mound. As of right now, Joe's going to keep Peralta in the game. So the Rays infield looking to turn 2, and the pitch to Moustakas is outside for ball 1. The Rays fell behind 1-0 in the top of the first inning. Jeff Neiman kind of navigated his way through a kind of a shaky first. A couple of singles to start, and then Hosmer knocked in a run with a ground out. The Rays scored twice in the bottom of the 3rd thanks to the 2-run, 2-out triple by Ben Zobrist. Scored a run in the 5th thanks to a hustle triple by Desmond Jennings, and then the sac fly by Evan, and that's been it. The 1-0, swinging a grounder right side. Kochman has it. Goes to second out. Johnson's turned back to first. Peralta covering. That's a double play. It goes 3-6-1, and the Rays turn 2 to end their 2nd straight inning that way. We go to the bottom of the 8th. Still 3-1 Rays on the Rays Baseball Network.
Limited to 1 autograph per person. Sweet Babe, proud sponsor of the Sweet Spot. Blake Wood will be pitcher for the KC Royals. He threw all of 1 pitch to Casey Kochman a couple of nights ago, and Casey walked it off with a home run. And now Wood will go to work on Damon, Longoria, and Zobrist. Chances are he'll throw more than 1 pitch to Zenny. No one warming in the Kansas City bullpen. Not surprisingly, Kyle Farnsworth is warming for the Rays. So the Rays club looking to tack on. We'll see Farnsworth in the ninth. And how about Dave Wills? How about Joel Peralta getting a couple of double plays in there to strike him out, throw him out, and then the beautifully turned 3-6-1 double play used to huge effect for the Rays in the late innings.
You know, we've talked about Carlos Pena and how well he started those double plays. Casey Kotchman is right there with him. So Johnny Damon will be the first man to face Blake Wood here in the bottom of the eighth inning as Wood comes set, and the first pitch is taken for strike one. 3-1 Rays on top. They have been out hit 11-5. What a job by Danny Duffy. His 7 innings scattered 5 hits, 3 runs earned. Walked 3 and struck out a couple. The 0-1 pitch, swinging a tapper at the plate, and that hit Damon in the box. You know, you start wondering too. You start thinking about who could be the Gold Glove first baseman this year. Kotchman only has the 1 error, I think, right?
Yeah.
And he's hitting the way he's hitting.
True.
Which we always kind of joke is one of the reasons why we've said that the Gold Glove Award goes to maybe the best hitting first baseman. Sometimes it's more of an offensive award, but it's kind of a joke. But that pitch in the dirt, 1 ball, 2 strikes. But I mean, Teixeira's going to get some votes automatically just because he's in New York, and
Gonzalez,
he gets on TV. Gonzalez the same way a lot. But Casey Kotchman has to be right there with him.
Yep, should be.
The 1-2 pitch in the dirt and low, and they count 2 balls, 2 strikes.
The other guys just get so much more name recognition than Kotchman does. Too bad, because I'd take him. No question.
Kyle Farnsworth is warming up down the right field line. Now the pitch. And just outside. Well, I mean, it goes back to the day, too, when you think, 10 years ago or so, when everybody was talking about which one of the 3 shortstops would you take, Jeter, Garcia Parra, or Alex Rodriguez. It was like trying to choose, maybe at the time, from the 3 Charlie's Angels. I mean, you're not going to go too wrong, are you?
Was it back in the 70s?
The current Angels right now. There's a swing and a foul up the first base line. But, I mean, I'm just trying to think. Or, Christy Brinkley or Al McPherson. Or, I mean, you're not going to go wrong. I'm trying to think who would Heidi Klum would be maybe the third one. I don't know. Cindy Crawford might have been the third one back. All right, so now I'm kind of getting a little closer.
You've graduated to the 80s.
Yes, upper, maybe 90s. Now the 3-2 again. Swinging a shot up the first base line, just foul. But, there was an argument made for either one of the 3 at the time. And I guess you can make an argument Gold Glove-wise for all 3 of them. Offensively, again, Casey Kotchman having a fine season. Adrian Gonzalez having an off-the-chart season again. Teixeira struggling a little bit with the batting average, but the power numbers are there. The 3-2 pitch. Swinging a slapper down the left field line. Giving chase is Gordon. This is going to fade into the corner and just go foul.
Had the distance to get out.
Was heading toward that small wall and just faded into the Rays beach bar. Coming up a little bit short, and this at-bat will continue with the 9th pitch. Just a bit foul. As Damon waits on another 3-2 from Blake Wood. Here it is. Swinging, he tied him up with that pitch and he fouled it off. So this will be a 10-pitch at bat to start the frame. Looking ahead to the top of the 9th inning is again Kyle Farnsworth warms. Alcides Escobar, Alex Gordon, and Melky Cabrera. Rays hoping maybe to add to a 2-run cushion right here. The 3-2 pitch, he finally got him. Swung on and missed, strike 3. Got him with a slider. Might have been ball 4. Johnny Damon walking backwards toward the dugout, asking one-point umpire DJ Rayburn where that one was at. That's 1 out. 10-pitch at bat. And Blake Wood wins that battle. As here's Evan. Evan with a fielder's choice back in the first. Singled and scored a run in the third. Knocked in a run with a sac fly back in the 5th. Yeah, the pitch is taken a little bit low for ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes to count. The infield for the Royals back all the way. The outfield tilted a little bit toward left as there's a pitch in there for a strike. Evan probably wishes he had that pitch back, and the count evens up at a ball and a strike. Evan starting to swing the bat a bit better here on this homestand, again carrying an 8-game hitting streak right now. And the 1-1, swinging a grounder back up toward the middle to his left is Escobar, just left of the bag at second, throws to first. And Evan is retired. There's 2 gone. Reminder, tomorrow we're on the air again at 6:30 with the pregame show. Andy and I take over right around 7 o'clock, and locally it'll be on 9:70 a.m. WFLA. CC Sabathia going up against David Price tomorrow. Game 1 of a 3-game series between the Rays and the Yankees, and then it'll be a 3-game, 2-day series in Boston against the Red Sox. Here's the first pitch to Ben, and it's a little bit low for ball 1. 3-1 Rays. 2 in the third, 1 in the fifth. For the Rays today, the lone run for Kansas City. They scored a first-inning run against Jeff Neiman, who right now is in line to pick up the win. The 1-0 pitch, just off of the plate outside. 2 balls, no strikes. Neiman, if the Rays can hold it here, will be able to pick up his 7th win of the season. And to think about that, 7 wins for Jeff Neiman, who missed over a month on the DL. That would only be 2 wins less than David Price. The 2-0, swinging a shot fair down the right field line. Into the corner it will go. Jeff Francoeur over to go dig it out. ZOBRIST on his way to second, takes a peek, and he'll stay right there with a 2-out double. Double number 37 for Ben ZOBRIST. And that'll bring Casey Kochman to the plate. We were talking about this with Joe Madden. You know, one of the great things about our gig is the fact that you get a chance to sit with Joe for a number of minutes before the game. We tape our, whatever it turns out to be, 6-7 minute interview with him, and then it usually takes about 40 minutes because they're going to intentionally walk Casey Kochman and take their chances with Sean Rodriguez. But we're talking to Joe about fastball command the other day, and he said, you know, and Andy was asking him too, you would think by the time they get to the big league level that they should have fastball command conquered. And it's funny, but it's not the case. I mean, even in the bullpen, where there's no batters, and you should not have any problem at all finding the mitt of the catcher to throw strikes. I mean, a big league guy should be able to do that on a 90 to 95% ratio, and yet they don't. There are certain guys that can, obviously, but then you get to the game and you're probably looking at about a 65 to 70% split that is good, and yet that's fastball command again, and it's just amazing why it isn't a little bit better. Said the guys that can do it, Roy Halladay, Cliff Lee, that's why they are so special, and James Shields is having that kind of a year now too because of the fastball command, and Jeff Neiman's going good as he is right now. Fastball command is a key for him.
We said to Joe, well, how about the fact that Halladay throws that curveball? He's trying to put it out of the strike zone. He goes, yeah, that's just the point. If he wants to put it as a strike, he can.
So here's Sean Rodriguez with 2 on and 2 outs, and the first pitch almost hit him. Boxed a little bit by Perez. He knocked it down, takes ball 1. 3-1 Rays here in the bottom half of the 8th at Tropicana Field. Final game of what has been a very, very long homestand. But the Rays are trying to make it a successful one. Now the 1-0 pitch, swinging a chopper foul. The Rays trying to go 3 games over 500 for the first time at home this season.
It will be, 7-3 on this homestand if they win today.
And it ends a stretch of 20 straight games against the Royals, A's, Mariners, and Blue Jays. And the Rays are looking for their 11th win in that category, which, let's face it, should have been a little better. So 1-1 the count to Rodriguez. Runners lead at first and second. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Got a spinner and couldn't get it. And now it's 1-2.
They're going to the 6th in the Bronx. The Angels lead the Yankees 2-0. Tyler Chatwood outfielding Bartolo Colon at the moment. A little ways to go on that one.
So 1-2 the count as Brandon Gomes joins Kyle Farnsworth down the right field line. It's a save situation right now for Kyle. The 1-2 pitch. Swinging a roller back up the middle. That's going to get through for a base hit. Zobrist around third. Cabrera up with it. His throw will come into second base. It's a 2-out RBI single for Sean Rodriguez. And the Rays lead grows to 4-1 here in the 8th inning.
Rodriguez had been 0 for 20 against the Kansas City Royals. He walked earlier today, and now a base hit to drive in a run and provide that much more distance. And took another step closer to the 4-game sweep.
So an RBI for Rodriguez, his 23rd of the season. He has also been a little shaky with runners in scoring position of late. That had to feel real good for him. And the first pitch to Sam is a little high for ball 1. So the intentional walk to Kochman backfires on the Royals. The Rays get a 3-run cushion now. I've been watching watching Kyle Farnsworth as Kelly Shopik waits in the on-deck circle. Kelly's had a couple of the 1-0 pitch is taken a little high, 2-1. Kyle, I should say, has had a couple of baseballs kind of bounce away from Scott Kersey, and he's now just kind of standing around. I'm really kind of interested to watch Gomes warm up, because even if this game became a non-situation, a lot of times when he heats up Farnsworth, it doesn't matter. He wants to get him in. Now the pitch. Check swing, and that's called a strike. And I think, again, hindsight is 20/20 for sure, but thinking back to yesterday's game, he had Joakim Soria all warmed up. And yes, it was a 4-run lead, but why not just bring him in? I think they tried to get Crow ready. That took a little time. Maybe he wasn't quite ready when they brought him in, and then he suffered, and then they brought Soria in a hot situation he's not accustomed to. And it all blew up on the Royals. There's a swing and a miss by Fold. He tried to launch that one to the airport, and the count 2-2.
Yeah, I mean, you think of them as names on paper, but you forget that sometimes guys getting up and down to the bullpen takes its toll, and plus the mindset of the pitcher. And it's one of the things that Joe Maddon loves about Kyle Farnsworth is that he says he is a relief pitcher. I can use him really in any kind of situation.
Now the 2-2. Check swing, a little hot. No, strike 3 call. DJ Rayburn, I think, went and looked at that one on instant replay and decided to call it a strike. That was as a delayed strike call you will ever see or hear. So Fold gets rung up. We're going to the 9th here in St. Pete. 4-1 Rays on the Rays Baseball Network. call of the bullpen brought to you by Metro PCS Wireless for All. Kyle Farnsworth on to try to close it out. Rays with a 4-1 lead. Farnsworth comes on here trying to save his 21st game of the season. He'll have to go through the 9 1-2 hitters to do it. And they call the play-by-play here in the ninth. Here's Andy.
All right, Dave, thank you. And they've been tough. The bottom of the order today, especially. ALCIDES ESCOBAR looks at a called strike from Farnsworth to start the ninth. ESCOBAR is 2 for 3 after 2 hits yesterday. 2 hits in game 2. So he's swinging it well as he checks his swing and rolls it back to Farnsworth. Charges to get it and tags him out. 1 down. ESCOBAR didn't mean to, and a little dribbler back to the mound, and Farnsworth just pounced on it and kept on running. So there's 1 out in the Royal ninth inning. Well, the Rays 2 outs away from their 3rd ever 4-game sweep of the KC Royals. A team that has had such struggles on the road. If the Rays pull it out, the Royals will be 18-37 on the road this year. Top of the order now, Alex Gordon. And he is 1 for 4, a big strikeout against Neiman in the 6th with the bases loaded. The Rays have grabbed the lead in the 3rd and added another in the 5th and another insurance run in the 8th. And now Alex Gordon looks at a called strike from Farnsworth. 0-1. And what a job by Joel Peralta today. Getting 2 double plays during his time out there. Inning in 2/3. Certainly deserving of a hold. And here's a ball outside the left-hand hitter Gordon. It's 1-1. And Farnsworth looking for a save. It would be his 21st of the year. Farnsworth from the windup now delivers, and he's off the plate inside. 2-1. Gordon and then Melky Cabrera, who the Rays just can't seem to do anything with. 3 more hits today for Cabrera. 2-1. Farnsworth steps back. Easy looking windup. Here he comes, swinging a foul left side and into the upper deck. And the count is even at 2 balls, 2 strikes. So 2-2 to Gordon. The Royals are heading to Chicago to play the White Sox beginning tomorrow night. And, of course, we're about to fly up to New York. 2-2. Farnsworth down the hill. Low, and it's 3-2. So a full count here to Gordon. The Royals getting some inspiration, no doubt, from last night's Rays comeback. Just because you're down late doesn't mean it's over. It's not a game where you run out the clock. They got to get those 27 outs. The 3-2 pitch from Farnsworth. Swing and a miss. He dropped the slider on him, and down he goes, and the Rays are 1 out away. Beautiful slider from Farnsworth, breaking down and into Alex Gordon. And the brooms are out here at Tropicana Field. The Rays are an out away from a 4-game sweep.
This copyrighted broadcast is presented by authority. The Tampa Bay Rays may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Tampa Bay Rays.
Melky Cabrera, the last man to get, takes fastball called strike over the outside from Farnsworth at 97 at the knees, and it's 0-1. Cabrera, 3 hits today, all singles. In fact, all of the Royals' 11 hits are singles today. The right-hander throws. Strike 2 called, and it's 0-2. So 0-2 to Cabrera. Yankee teammates for Farnsworth and Cabrera. As Kyle works from the line, delivers, and he's low inside with a slider, 1-2. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Farnsworth back behind the mound and goes to his mouth and wipes it on his uniform on the pant leg. 1 ball and 2 strikes as he goes back to the top of the mound, looks down the barrel to Shopik, shakes him off, now says yes. From the line, the pitch, slice foul over the third base dugout out of play. And 1-2. 13,942 in attendance this Thursday afternoon. As the Rays try to complete one of the very best homestands of the year, if not the best homestand of the year. Here he comes on 1-2. Popped him up, foul and out of play off third to stay alive. 1-2 the count here to Cabrera. slowly digs back in as Farnsworth once again to the first base side of the pitching slot. Tunnel lined up. Around with the arm, 1-2. Swinging a chopper foul. And Cabrera seems to be able to hit that pitch down. If nothing else, foul it off. He's got a bunch of hits in this series on that low pitch. Jeff Neiman would be a 7-game winner, as Dave was telling you. Duffy would be the losing pitcher. Farnsworth looking for the save. And this is a Rays kind of win. You scratch out 4 runs and hold the other team down. Farnsworth 1-2. Outside, it's 2-2. Not many still sitting here at Tropicana Field. Not everybody standing all around the ball yard as Farnsworth with a big deep breath. To the plate, 2-2. And a strike 3 call, and the Rays have a 4-game sweep. Kyle Farnsworth strikes out Melky Cabrera to end it. And the Rays have a 4-game sweep against the Kansas City Royals. And they come out of the dugout to shake hands across the mound in the center of the diamond. Heroes all abound today for the Rays, offensively and on the mound. The final score, the Rays 4, the Royals 1. And stay with us, we'll come back and get you set for the postgame show in a moment on the Rays Radio Network.